Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Naruto Awakens Haki at the start. Chapter 81. Dozens of rock shinobi attacked together. The combination of various earth-style fire-style ninjutsu, as well as the dense shuriken and kunai, suddenly flew towards Yi Chen, overwhelming the sky. The momentum is huge, even ordinary jonin can't resist. Looking at the attack that filled the sky, Yi Chen's eyes were calm under the Rakshasa mask. He's already changed from what he used to be. Tsunade in his arms showed despair, and he could only close his eyes and wait for death to come. "Watch me kill them. Take you away," Yi Chen said coldly. The next moment, facing the overwhelming, storm-like attack, Yi Chen stretched out his hand and grabbed it in the air. Bang bang. In an instant, white smoke flashed, and the demon sword, Yanmo, appeared directly in Yi Chen's hand, and was grasped by Yi Chen. The purple demonic energy overflowed from Yanmo's body uncontrollably, and Yi Chen slowly raised his right hand. From Yanmo, armament haki spreads along the arm to the sharp blade surface of Senbai. In an instant, Yanmo became pitch black as ink. Facing numerous attacks, Yi Chen held the knife in one hand and swung it out suddenly. A black light, like the only darkness in the world of light. A black slash carrying haki instantly split the world in two. The sharp knife gas turned into a straight line, and suddenly cut the air right in front. It seemed as if endless black ons had gathered, splitting the air. With one knife, the sky was cut into cracks. Boom! The flames and rocks in the sky, as well as countless shuriken and kunai, all suddenly froze in the air at this moment. The black slash slashed past, like a halo in the middle of the lake, and then it exploded. All fire-style ninjutsu, earth-style ninjutsu, and countless kunai shuriken split in two, instantly collapsed. With a single knife, it resisted all attacks. A knife cut the way of life and death. All the rock shinobi stopped in unison, and stopped the sign of the seal. There were expressions of shock and astonishment on their faces, and they looked straight ahead. What kind of ninjutsu is that? There is no seal, and it is performed with a knife, so it should be some kind of secret art. What a terrifying attack range. The slashing attack from the knife actually blocked all the attacks and smashed them directly. Rock shinobi elite jonin rock and soil, stone and wood are shocked. But it's far from over. They're fighting in the woods. The aftermath of the black slash continued to spread and cut a lot of rock shinobi. Between the two sides, there were originally countless big trees hugging each other, but at this time, all of them shifted to the sides together, and they were broken by the waist. The giant tree was broken, and the space suddenly opened up. The visual spread of this black slash has exceeded a kilometer. A knife also cut through the empty battle arena. With a tyrannical knife, all attacks were cut off. Yi Chen's eyes were incomparably flat, and Yanmo in his hand fell gently, pointing diagonally to the ground, and a tendency to give up on me and others emerged spontaneously. The army has 10,000 horses, still standing, and 10,000 people are not allowed to open. In Yi Chen's arms, Tsunade's expression was sluggish. At the beginning, I heard Yi Chen's words to kill all the enemies and take her away. She suddenly wondered if Yi Chen was crazy or killed. At the same time, she also felt that Yi Chen's voice and breath became more and more familiar. But just when she was about to think about it, Yi Chen slashed the rock shinobi attack with a single strike, and cut off the thoughts she had just remembered. She is a bit square. When did Konoha Anbu appear such a strong pervert guy? Even in her heyday, it was a bit reluctant to do this step with a strange punch, right? But what she didn't know was that Yi Chen was no longer the Yi Chen he was half a year ago. His strength increased greatly and he was reborn. Coupled with the sharpness of Yanmo, the magic weapon, the speciality of emission haki is enough to cut everything. Without Yanmo, Yi Chen's strength should be greatly reduced. However, Yi Chen's strength also gave Tsunade hope that he might be able to retreat. What she is sure is that the Konoha special Anbu in front of her is very strong, and her strength may be even stronger than her heyday, even if it is not as good as it is. There may be more than 30 enemies, including at least 2 to 3 jonin, and elite jonin. Looking at the man holding him, Tsunade took a deep breath and said, "Anbu, but if you want to fight against a team of more than 30 rock shinobi ninjas on your own, it's a little too reluctant. Even if Hatake Sakumo is here, I guess it won't be easy. Don't be wary, and retreat with the camera action." Yi Chen nodded. Tsunade was right, but he still didn't mean to retreat, but continued to look straight ahead. While gently erecting Yanmo and placing it in front of him, Yi Chen said softly, "Actually, sometimes, it doesn't make a difference whether it's one person or 30 people. It's nothing more than a slash. It's just like cleaning up one or a pile of garbage, it's just a shovel. If not, then 2 shovels. And these are all living experiences, the resources for oneself to become a strong man." What a calm face, as if narrating an insignificant thing. But his eyes were very cold, showing a chill that seemed to condense river water. Rock Shinobi moved Tsunade, which pissed him off. "What? You, don't be stupid," Tsunade advised. "Hold me tight. I'm going to clean up the trash." Tsunade heard the words and subconsciously hugged Yi Chen's body tightly. "Call out, shave." In an instant, in the blink of an eye, Yi Chen has reached the Rock Shinobi encirclement. Like a wolf entering a flock, he spoke coldly, like Shinigami's declaration, without the slightest emotion. "One blade stream profound truth, 36 troubled winds." As soon as the words fell, a sword was swung out, and the 36 paths sword energy shot out in a Uzumaki shape with Yi Chen as the center. Wherever the sword chi passed, there was a gust of wind and strong wind, and the unparalleled sword chi set off a powerful airflow, which directly rolled these rock shinobi into the air. Moonwalk. Yi Chen's foot was empty, Yanmo cut it down, and directly cut a rock shinobi into 2 pieces, and the blood shot. Shave, shave, shave. Yi Chen appeared in every corner of the rock shinobi circle, and every time he appeared, he took away a rock shinobi. Or cut off the head, or cut the waist. The method is extremely bloody, and some even cut off their arms by the aftermath of the knife. Ah! The screams were endless, and people fell down one after another, in a pool of blood. Yi Chen's speed is too fast, like a ghost, it is impossible to prevent, and there is nowhere to be found. But the key is that he still holds a woman in his arms. Holding a woman with such speed and strength, this is simply inhuman. Tsunade looked at the random man beside him, the Rakshasa mask of the evil spirit, accompanied by a sea of blood, and he killed decisively. The bewitching flowers of blood bloomed quietly, even she couldn't help being dazzled, her heartbeat was much faster in an instant. Who is he? Killing is undoubtedly the most unsightly scene in the world, because of the blood, violence, and death. Nobody likes this. But now Yi Chen's killing is full of unspeakable poignant beauty. Of course, the sad thing is Rock Shinobi. The beauty is Yi Chen. Rakshasa mask, a slender black knife, cut the enemy in half without smearing the slightest blood. Holding a beautiful woman in her arms, across the battlefield, it is like entering no one. If men are born in this world, if they are all like this, how free and easy they should be. Under the attack, Rock Shinobi had already lost half of it. Although it was basically all Chunin and Genin, it was also a big blow to Rock Shinobi. These can be said to be the fresh blood of Rock Shinobi, and may become the backbone of Rock Shinobi in the future. But because of information asymmetry, Rock Shinobi didn't know Yi Chen's true strength, and Yi Chen was a killer from the very beginning, which was unexpected. Even match and fight, let Rock Shinobi suffer a big loss. By the time the Rock Shinobi Jonin rocks react, it will be too late, but it is not irreparable. Earth Style. Black Marsh Technique. The rock and soil formed 5 seals in 1 second, slapped both hands on the ground, and Yi Chen's feet instantly turned into a swamp, muddy. The swamp was extremely sticky, Yi Chen was stuck and unable to move, and slowly fell down. This is Rock Shinobi's swamp technique, which is used to block the opponent's actions. Once hit, it will be very troublesome. Tsunade in his arms couldn't help reminding. Yi Chen nodded slightly when he heard the words. He naturally knew this ninjutsu. After all, this wasn't his first fight with Rock Shinobi. The last time I played against Rock Shinobi Terracotta, the opponent also used this ninjutsu. Only he was forced to dodge it by using Marine 6 Style's Moonwalk. As long as the strength is strong enough, it is possible to break free from the shackles of the Black Swamp. It's just that the ninjutsu range of the rock and soil is extremely large. Even if Moonwalk steps away for a while, he will definitely re-enter the swamp when he falls. Fire Style. Fire Stream Yanbo. While Yi Chen was thinking, another Jonin Ashiki also shot, quickly forming a seal and performing Fire Style ninjutsu. Spit out a blast of flames from your mouth. However, the target of this flame shockwave is not Yi Chen, but Black Swamp. The black swamp was ignited instantly when it encountered the flames, and the swamp with a radius of 100 meters burned like gasoline on fire. Cough cough. The fusion of ninjutsu, the fusion of earth style and fire style, rock shinobi's best tactic, is extremely powerful. Tsunade said, his pale face flushed with flames. And this is not an ordinary flame, it seems to have a chemical reaction with the black swamp. The billowing flames were mixed with thick black smoke, rather like hot ashes. It's really troublesome, I didn't plan to use it. But after all, the opponent is elite Jonin, so it's not easy to avoid such a wide range of ninjutsu. Just playing with fire, his Mara fruit is just as powerful as Conqueror's Haki. Inflammation. A scorching heat emanated from the inside out. Tsunade and Yi-Chen were as close as possible to each other. She could feel a scorching power, as if a volcano was about to erupt. But this power did no harm to her. Yi-Chen is holding the demon sword of Yan, blessed by the flame ability of Mara fruit, and the surface of the demon sword has golden flames. With a wave of his hand, a flame appeared out of thin air, surrounding them in a circle, completely protecting them. At the same time, Yan Shangang also isolated the smoke and dust in the sky, turning it into a sea of fire. Moonwalk. Taking the opportunity, Yi-Chen stood in the air. The right arm was wrapped in wisps of flame, and the small flames circled around him. At this time, his body was partially elementalized, and most of his body was bathed in flames. It was like a god's mansion that dominates the flames, full of supreme majesty. Or maybe it's the flames from hell. The Rakshasa mask is deeply imprinted in the hearts of all rock shinobi present. Tsunade felt that he was surrounded by flames, but the flames were not hot at all, but warm and comfortable. It suddenly felt amazing. What kind of ability is this? You don't even need a seal. Ended. Fire punch. Yi-Chen's right arm is completely elemental, falling from the sky, and punching the swamp with one punch. A huge column of flames filled with high temperature suddenly shot towards the ground. And from the huge pillar of flames, a fist wrapped in flames crashed like a hill. The danger of fire fist, now it shines again in another world. Boom. The fire fist slammed on the surface of the swamp, and I saw the golden flames spread along the swamp to the surrounding, setting off a huge wave of rolling flames. All the way, the whole swamp was completely evaporated by the golden flames, and there was nothing left, only the dry and bare ground. Rock shinobi are dumbfounded. What kind of ninjutsu is this? The giant flame fist blasted away the black swamp at once. You must know that the black swamp is spontaneously ignited by fire, and the flames cannot annihilate it, but make it stronger. Who is this person? That kind of swordsmanship, could it be Hatake Tsukumo? But according to the information, Hatake Tsukumo is not good at fire style at all. Ishido said in a voiceless voice, stunned. I don't know. It feels like a more terrifying opponent than Hatake Tsukumo. What kind of ability is this? Ashiki looked solemn. The ground returned to normal. Yi-Chen returned to the ground, stretched out his palm to the opposite rock shinobi, and said coldly. Firefly. Fire Dharma. His palm turned fluorescent color and was wrapped in a cloud of fluorescent green light. Then one firefly flew out from his palm, dozens of them. The firefly flew towards rock shinobi. Rock shinobi was at a loss, and didn't understand what this green firefly was. It didn't seem to be a threat, but it was beautiful. What's this? A rock shinobi asked, reaching out to touch it. Like a firefly, someone Kaido. As elite Jonin's rock earth consciousness, how shrewd it is, his brain flashed, and he shouted. Don't touch. Rewind. It's a pity it's late, there are already 4 or 5 ninjas with fireflies on them. And Yi-Chen showed a cold smile, and just spit out a word in his mouth. Burst. When the words fell, the fireflies exploded in an instant, and the rock shinobi were wrapped in flames and swallowed directly, with great power. Especially when so many fire dharmas exploded together and the distance is so close, the power alone is no weaker than B-level fire style ninjutsu. Earth style. Earth formation wall. The rock and soil slapped the ground with both hands in an instant, exerted the earth style, and the earth walls rose up to resist the aftermath of the fire bodhidharma. Even so, they still suffered heavy losses. 7 or 8 more ninjas fell, and they were burnt to ashes, leaving only howls of pain. Rock Earth's eyes were red, just chasing and killing a woman, and in the end he broke so many ninjas, it's really hateful. Yi Chen retracted his palm, and the flame on his body slowly disappeared. This is the first time he has used so many Mara fruit abilities, and the results are good. But rather than flames, he prefers to use Yanmo to harvest the enemy's head. Leaving a pool of charred corpses on the ground, the power of fire Bodhidharma should not be underestimated. The temperature of the flame produced by Mara fruit is also much higher than that of ordinary flames. After the earth formation wall, the rock and earth complexion was gloomy, and the murderous aura was surging, wishing to kill Yi Chen. But Yi Chen's strength is too strange, unpredictable, and his ability is even more unpredictable. Could it be that this is a special flame bloodline? But the 5 great ninja villages have never heard of flame bloodline. The most calm person present was Tsunade. She could clearly feel Yi Chen's arm completely turned into flames in Yi Chen's arms. No family or ninja in Konoha has this ability. Who the hell is he? Tsunade's doubts grew stronger. In comparison, her safety is not so important. And the longer she stayed in the arms of the person in front of her, the more she felt that the person's breath was familiar. Looking at the well-defended rock shinobi in front of him, Yi Chen's eyes flashed with cold killing intent. In the ninja world, there is no right or wrong, only entanglements of interests. For example, he does not know this group of rock shinobi at all, but he has already killed a dozen or 20 people. Scoff. In order to end the battle, he decisively chose to shoot. With Yanmo on his back, a white thunder light appeared in the palm of his right hand, and the thunder and fire were constantly making noises, and it was like 1,000 birds chirping in unison. The thunder attribute chakra becomes qualitative, and after that, it changes its form, and suddenly the thunder light is extended, and it changes into a thunder sword. The surface of this thunder sword is flickering with electric arcs, emitting dazzling white arcs, and it is 7 or 8 meters long. The mystery of White Fang emerged in his heart, and the cells of the whole body became active under the stimulation of the thunder attribute chakra. Yi Chen made a decisive decision, swung down the sword of thunder and said, "Thunder cut sword." This is a super long-distance swordsmanship created by him combined with the White Fang swordsmanship. The space was shaken, and the naked eye saw a thunder light cut through the void. Seeing this sword, rock shinobi Jonin immediately felt the danger and shouted, "All defense! Earth style! Earth formation wall! Earth style! Earth formation wall! Earth style! Earth formation wall!" Each ninja slapped the ground with both hands, and blocks of earth rose up to form a shield in front of him. However, they still underestimated the power of this sword. Where the thunder-slashing sword passed, those earthen walls were cut into 2 pieces like tofu. Rock, Ashiki and the remaining ninjas quickly retreated. This sword is too sharp and invincible, but its distance is limited. I saw where the thunder sword passed, whether it was a ninja or a towering tree, all of them split directly from the place where the wave of thunder light passed by. Divided into 2. The fracture is extremely smooth, it doesn't even look like it was cut with a sword, it looks like a straight line split out of space. Clap la la. One after another, the towering trees fell down, and with the fall of these big trees, there were more than 10 rock shinobi ninja bodies, which were divided into 2 from the waist, and blood was splashed everywhere. With one sword, more than 7 or 8 people were beheaded. The ninjas in the audience were silent, only the tree fell, and the roaring sound that shook the earth kept coming. Rock shinobi's commanding Ninja Rock, with an unbelievable look in his eyes, staring at Naito Yu with a look of astonishment and inconceivable. The danger of a sword is so terrifying. It can't be approached at all, ordinary earth-style ninjutsu can't be resisted at all. On the other side, Jonin also looked at Yi Chen in disbelief. "Are you, Konoha's Anbu captain?" Yi Chen didn't answer this question, this time he replaced Yanmo and just slashed forward gently. The sword just now was a sweep, and this sword was a cleave. With the terrifying scene just now, who would dare to accept Yi Chen's attack? They all retreated like frightened birds, out of Yi Chen's attack range. After waiting for the silence, Yan Tu realized that there were only 5 or 6 people left in his team. Including his 3 Jonin, the other 2 survived. If they don't kill Yi Chen, Tsunade, their rock shinobi will lose a lot this time, and it can also be understood as a total annihilation. Yi Chen also realized that, he was not complacent about the beheading just now, he understood that those were just small fish and shrimp. The 3 Jonins in front of them are the most important ones, and if they don't solve their crisis, they won't be relieved. Captain Yantu, the 3 of us shot together. If the 3 Jonins join forces, I can't believe that we won't be able to win an Anbu. It was the last of the 3 Jonin who spoke, and the only special Jonin. What is a special Jonin? Neither seniority nor strength is enough for Jonin level. However, because of having very good talents in certain aspects, such as the blood and the limit, he will be promoted to special Jonin when he was Chunin. In Konoha, Uchiha clan, Hyuga clan, many Chunin have the title of special Jonin. Because their bloodline limit can be said to be truly unique in the entire ninja world, and the improvement of combat effectiveness is even greater. This particular Jonin is called Fire Earth, and she is a female ninja who is relatively young and looks like she is about 20 years old. That's all I can do, kill this person with all my strength. Yantu nodded. Their rock shinobi is not good at physical skills, especially in body flicker technique. They are not as good as Yi Chen, so they were beaten to death by Yi Chen to kill his subordinates. If Yi Chen met Cloud Shinobi who knew ninjutsu today, I'm afraid it wouldn't be so easy. The 3 Jonins have joined forces. If it is difficult to deal with it, let's find a chance to retreat. Tsunade whispered, his voice weak and worried. Don't be afraid, Yi Chen said lightly. Lava style. River rock technique. Huo Tu shouted loudly, his hands formed seals, and his mouth opened suddenly and spit out. A fireball wrapped in magma burst out of her mouth and bombarded Yi Chen suddenly. This magma fireball is much more powerful than a single fireball. I didn't expect this woman to be a lava-style blood follower. Lava-style is the only one of the 5 major ninja villages that only Iwagakure has the limit of blood. Moreover, this blood succession limit is a single line of Tsuchikage, which contains 2 types of chakra nature transformation, fire and earth, and ordinary people can't integrate the profound meanings of them, so they don't have lava style. The world of Hokage has a very strange setting. In fact, the limit of blood is not born, but some excellent ninjas in a certain generation suddenly realized 2 kinds of chakra nature transformation, and merged into new attributes. This new attribute will be remembered by genes, that is to say, starting from this time, the next generation has a 99% chance of inheriting the blood succession limit. As for the 1%, I don't know if there is a possibility that it is not my own. So Yi Chen immediately had a guess in his heart that 80% of the woman in front of him had something to do with 3rd Tsuchikage. It's just a fireball wrapped in magma. His eyes were calm, and suddenly a sword fell, directly slicing the magma ball in half. But the next moment, the 2 Jonin attacked and quickly formed the seal. Fire style. Dragon fire bullet. Fire style. Great fireball explosive technique. Earth style. Earth smash. Wind style. Great breakthrough. Seeing so many fire attribute ninjutsu, Yi Chen suddenly had an incredible idea in his heart. If it works, then 3 Jonins can be killed in one fell swoop. The 3 Jonin teamed up to perform ninjutsu, although they were all rock shinobi, but they used the powerful fire ninjutsu. For a time, the magma surged and was mixed with monstrous flames, and was swept up in a gust of wind, the earth and rocks shattered, and a stone dragon flew up, roaring with a monstrous fire. This is the duel between Jonin. The ninjutsu performed between the raised hands is very large, because the heaven and earth affect the environment and destroy the dead. Even the rainy weather like the land of rain could not suppress such lava flames. The rain in the sky had been evaporated by the terrifying heat before it fell, forming an updraft. And part of the ground under Yi Chen's feet melted, and part of the earth and rock shook, supporting him to push him on top of the flaming magma. The entire venue has become the home of rock shinobi Jonin. Facing this kind of scene, Yi Chen's expression was extremely calm. He put Yanmo in his left hand, while the other hand clenched his fist tightly. Chakra surged in the body, the strange force was running slowly, and the fist under the holster was covered with armed color. And this familiar fluctuation of pure power also made Tsunade in his arms stunned for a moment. Very familiar chakra fluctuations, very familiar power lines. Does this seem weird? Before Tsunade could see clearly, Yi Chen's fist slammed into the air in front of him. Armed color. Fantastic Iron Fist LV4. At LV3, the armed color can already injure people from the air, let alone LV4. The sky and the earth shook, and the space seemed to be stagnant. The earth dragon, wrapped in lava flames, leapt across the sky. But it stopped in midair for a moment. Crack. With Yi Chen's fist as the center, this punch seems to be on the mirror again. One after another dark red energy ripples spread in all directions. The heaven and the earth have turned gray, violent red. Beneath the armed-colored hockey field, black thunderbolts rage, shattering the ground and sky. The next moment, it seemed that the space was shattered in an instant, the mirror of space shattered, and the entire sky seemed to have turned into a mirror, which was suddenly shattered by Yi Chen's punch. Now Yi Chen is taking a serious punch, with armed color and 20% compression force. The bombarded air spiral airflow, like a small tornado, swept everything and shredded everything. If the space is compared to a mirror, what happens to the magma flame earth dragon in the mirror when the mirror is broken? Naturally, as the mirror shattered, it shattered into countless pieces and disintegrated. So under this punch, the monstrous magma earth dragon fireball stagnated. Whether it was a gust of wind or a raging flame, they seemed to have been hit by an irresistible bombardment, and they collapsed with a single blow. And the magma earth dragon, at a speed visible to the naked eye, cracked open one after another from the inside out. It's like a broken egg shell, the outer layer crumbling around. In the end, it all fell apart. In this scene, it was as if a meteor fell from the sky and was smashed by Yi Chen with a single punch. The scene was extremely shocking. And the earth-shattering punch isn't over yet. Yi Chen's arm became elemental again, and blasted the fist of flames at the three Jonin. One after another, the giant pillars of flame shot out instantly without the need for a seal, piercing the void. Ordinary ninjas can't dodge, but Jonin is a battle-hardened generation, and I saw them take off one by one. But these Hokage pillars turned and flew into the air as if they were listening to people's instructions. Even so, they were still dodged. The flame lives and strikes the sky, sinks into the clouds, and disappears. The rock and soil are imprinted, the ground is surging, and an earth-rock bridge appears out of nowhere in the air. Shimu and Wotu stood beside each other and found a place to stay. Until now, they have not chosen to melee Yi Chen. Apparently they thought that fighting Yi Chen with physical skills would undoubtedly be courting death. If you are touched by that knife, you will have to lose your arms and legs. Yi Chen also understands this. Even if he uses shaving to come to them instantly, he will probably be avoided by the body replacement technique if he is on guard. No one can become a Jonin as a simple character. Rock Shinobi's Fire Earth, a hint of ruthlessness in his eyes, seeing Yi Chen smashing their joint ninjutsu with one punch is extremely fearful. If this person is not eliminated, he will be the enemy of the Rock Man in the future. At the same time, both hands make a seal. Lava style. Lava river. Wow. From under her feet, a chakra suddenly rippled, and the earth in all directions turned into terrifying magma in an instant. Originally, she didn't want to use this trick, it cost a lot of chakra, and at the same time, it would also make her companions have no place to stand. But now, few companions have been killed, and there may be no chance if you don't use it again. Choices must now be made and results come out. As expected of Lava Style's blood following the limit, Yi Chen just wanted to escape, but all around his body had turned into lava. Not even his legs were in it. However, he also elementalized his legs in advance, and this magma would not be able to help him for a while. Are you alright? Tsunade asked worriedly when he saw this scene. Generally speaking, hit this ninjutsu. Ninjas use chakra to attach to the surface of their legs to form a layer of defensive armor that can withstand a while. It's okay, just treat it as a foot bath. Yi Chen said easily. Wash your feet. Tsunade couldn't help complaining, this man is really big. Is he really confused or pretending to be confused? Which ninja dares to wash their feet within the lava-style ninjutsu range? It's almost time to count. Yi Chen said, looking at the thunderclouds gradually gathering in the sky. What time? You have been delaying time, we still have rescuers. Tsunade said, a little emotional. No, Yi Chen poured cold water directly, killing Tsunade's hope. Fire Earth, well done. Rock Earth praised. As expected of Master Tsuchikage's disciple. Ashiki also praised. It's nothing, without the support of the captain and you, it is impossible to trap him. Just let him rot in the endless magma. Huo-tu said. Boom. At this time, there was the sound of thunder in the sky, and it became more and more dull. The thick lightning strike cloud moved and accumulated into a ball, and lightning could be seen vaguely. "Why did the thunder strike?" said the rock. "I don't know why, there is an ominous premonition," Huo-tu said with a solemn expression on his face. "A woman's sixth sense is always accurate." Moonwalk. Using elementalization, Yi Chen got his feet out of the lava river, and then stepped directly into the sky. He used moonwalk to stagnate in the sky for a short time, commanding a commanding height. How is it possible? Huo-tu was stunned by Yi Chen's actions. How did he do it? Fighting for so long. It's time to end the fight. Let you see the ultimate meaning of lightning style. The sky is getting more and more gloomy, and it has been raining intermittently, but now it looks more like a downpour. The sky is almost dark, black into a block, and there is no more brilliance. Rock Shinobi Jonin, rock, stone, wood, and fire, felt ominous and uneasy at this moment. Yi Chen stepped on Marine 6 styles standing high in the sky, wearing a Rakshasa mask looking down. The current Yi Chen has gradually begun to have his aura, and this aura is no longer a prototype. It is a kind of self-confidence from the inside out. Whoever leaves me alone is the only one in the world. Now that he has lived a new life, he naturally wants to be domineering, rejoice in enmity and revenge, and be at ease. Break all confinement and cut off all injustice. Boom. There was thunder and the sky started to rain again. What does he want to do? Huo-tu asked, his unease getting stronger. I don't know, Ashiki said, but his body couldn't help trembling, which was completely an instinctive reaction. Could it be? Yan Tu had some vague guesses in his heart, but he felt that it was unbelievable and unbelievable. How could a person do something that was simply impossible? As if to verify what he thought, Yi Chen spoke slowly, his words indifferent. This trick is specially prepared for you. The country of rain is especially suitable for this trick. The art of controlling natural thunder, at the speed of thunder and lightning, none of you can't escape. What? Yan Tu was shocked. What are you going to do? Tsunade asked, not sure why, but he felt like something big was about to happen. I guessed right, this Konoha Anbu should be a thunderbolt who wants to control the sky. Rock Soil said slowly. Boom. Another burst of thunder exploded, a bolt of lightning pierced the sky, and the stern light illuminated Yi Chen's Rakshasa mask, which looked extremely terrifying and terrifying. How is that possible? Naturally, Thunder Man cannot control it. Huo-tu said. I don't know where this Anbu got the confidence to do this, but if it's true, the three of us are in danger. And have you found out? Just now this person sent several giant flame pillars in a row, but the target was not us. Instead, the flames were driven into the clouds, and the rainwater in the clouds evaporated to form updrafts and then formed thunder clouds. In addition to our previous fire style, lava style evaporated a lot of rainwater on the ground. Now the accumulation of lightning clouds in the sky is definitely the largest ever. Once it erupts, it will definitely destroy the world. Face stern. Huo-tu and Shimu were shocked. If this is the case, if this person planned everything at the beginning and planned to destroy them all at the beginning, then this person's scheming would be too terrifying. You must know that they are a large team, number 30 or 40, even if Hatake Sakumo comes, there is no guarantee that they will be wiped out. Yi Chen raised one arm and pointed to the sky, a lightning blade in the palm of his palm went straight to the sky, submerging into the clouds. Seeing the rock and soil, his pupils shrank. He really did it. How dare he do this? Is he not afraid of being devoured by natural lightning and shattered? Because the flow of lightning is disordered, and the speed is only 1,000th of a second faster than the speed of sound. He doesn't know why. Yi Chen has observation haki and can perceive all the forces of nature. At this moment, the sight and hearing of LV4 were completely released, covering the thunder cumulus clouds in a radius of 1,500 meters. He knows the direction of the lightning flow in the clouds at this time and guides it with his thunder blade chakra. With the sound of thunder getting louder and louder, the speed of raindrops falling faster and faster, a heavy rainstorm swept over. Snapped. A flash of lightning appeared, illuminating the dark and hazy sky. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Yan Tu shouted in his heart, going crazy and scared. Run. Whether it is successful or not, as long as this technique is performed once it is performed. The consequences are absolutely devastating, and it will be destroyed for miles around, and nothing will grow. What's more, they are mere flesh and blood. What, Captain? Wotu hesitated, in disbelief. Hurry up and escape. This technique can't be interrupted, it detonates natural lightning, it's a lunatic. Yi Chen's right hand suddenly pulled down, and the thunder blade connecting the thunder in the sky collapsed, and the infinite lightning thunder was pulled out of the thunder cumulus cloud and controlled it. I saw Yi Chen's head, under the dark clouds. The dense thunder and lightning flickered and roared constantly, like hundreds of millions of birds chirping. Under the control of Yi Chen, these lightning bolts turned into a terrifying beast hundreds of meters in size. Thunderbolt, Kirin. This. Tsunade was horrified, facing such a world-destroying thunder. Even she was trembling and couldn't help hugging Yi Chen's waist tightly. I'm afraid this is going to destroy the world. With such a thunderbolt, it is actually controlled by people, and there is nothing in this world that cannot be destroyed. Even Grandpa's wood style can't resist such a violent natural danger. This has been out of the scope of ninjutsu, it is divine punishment. During the process of escaping, Yan Tu glanced back, and he was directly frightened. The terrifying thunder giant came into view, frightened him, and his face was ashes. Kirin. Yi Chen's expression was indifferent, without the slightest expression, just like the god who controls the thunder, these lightnings are his servants. Roar. Deafening roar. In a thousandth of a second, at that moment, a world-destroying thunder pierced through the space and fell to the ground. The lava river was evaporated in an instant, the earth collapsed, the land collapsed, and the ghosts cried and wolves howled. At this point, everything is annihilated. Rock, stone, wood, fire and earth, watch the thunder and lightning strike, but can't escape no matter what. Faster than lightning. Boom. The entire land was covered with white thunder, forming a large circle with a radius of several kilometers. Everything in it was destroyed by the thunder, everything was gone, and nothing was left. I don't know how long it took, a few breaths, dozens of breaths. Yi Chen held Tsunade in his arms and still stepped in the void with Moonwalk, watching everything that happened on the ground, and everything calmed down before finally falling. At this time, when I looked up, I couldn't see any forests around, and all the trees were gone, not a single bit. Tsunade slowly got down from Yi Chen's arms and looked at everything around him in shock. The power of this ninjutsu is at least S-level forbidden technique, or even higher. Are they all dead? Tsunade murmured, not even believing it herself. Maybe. Yi Chen said calmly, he was already used to killing and had no special emotions, that's how he came all the way. Potato. At this moment, a rock swayed and rolled down, and an electric focus arm stretched out from the ruins. Under the unicorn, there are still people alive. This surprised Yi Chen. It was only when he saw the person who came out of the rocky ruins that his face became clear. Elite John and Rock, the two strongest of Rock Shinobi's squad. As for fire, earth, stone and wood, they are dead. Even if it is rock and earth, it is not far from death at this moment, and only the last breath is left at this time. The rock and soil lay in the waste, most of the body was buried by stones, the whole body was charred black, and the skin was open and fleshy. Seeing this, Yi Chen walked over with Yan Mo. What are you going to do? Tsunade asked. Cut the grass and remove the roots, so as not to leave future troubles. Yi Chen said coldly. Tsunade was silent, she naturally understood this truth. Not long ago, she was chased and killed by this group of people. Now that she has changed her identity, her life is really wonderful. Seeing Yi Chen walking step by step with Yan Mo in his hand, his face was full of despair, and he asked unwillingly, "Who are you, Captain Anbu of Konoha?" Yi Chen shook his head, raised Yan Mo, shook his head and said, "No, I am a special Anbu, codenamed Rakshasa." After that, a knife pierced the heart of this elite Jonin. Ding! Kill the Rock Shinobi Team 32 Ming Ninjas, gain 12,000 experience, the remaining experience 17,850 After listening to the system beep, he knew that the Rock Shinobi team was destroyed again. Once upon a time, Jonin was the chasm he couldn't cross. But now, the General Jonin in front of him can't resist for a long time, and it is easy to kill him. As for Genin Chunin, it's the same as chopping melons and vegetables. Only elite Jonin can compete with him, but he will undoubtedly win. At this point, the Rock Shinobi team that ambushed Tsunade, chased and killed Tsunade all the way to this point, there are still more than 30 people left in the team, all in the hands of Yi Chen. This may not directly change the situation of the entire Second Ninja World War, but just like the last time Yi Chen swept an elite ninja army by himself, it was the beginning of the World War II battlefield. Boom. When sighing and sighing, a platinum treasure chest appeared in front of Yi Chen's eyes. It's just that the situation is special now. He did not open it, but received it directly into the system space. Who the hell are you? At this time, Tsunade finally couldn't help asking Yi Chen's identity. Yi Chen said lightly, Master Tsunade, you should know that Konoha Anbu's identity is kept secret, unless Hokage and the captain, others have no right to know. Your strength is at least Anbu captain level, but there is no one like you, Grandmaster Fire Style, Lightning Style. And your fire style is not a normal fire style, it seems to be some kind of bloodline limit. Your name is Rakshasa, this person should not be anonymous, Tsunade said. Sir Tsunade, you are injured, or I will continue to hold you and leave here. With such a big movement, I am afraid that someone will come over after a while. Yi Chen immediately changed the subject. Pick me up, okay, tell me your identity, and I'll allow you to hug me. Tsunade said. Now that he is out of danger, his mood is also alive, and the lively character of the girl is revealed. Yi Chen Observation Haki warned and sensed that a large number of ninjas were coming around. No nonsense, just hug the master directly by the waist, and then cast a shave and instantly disappear in place. Hey, let it go. Who wants you to hold me? Tsunade was also stunned by Yi Chen's sudden action. She struggled, but it was fine if she didn't struggle. As soon as she struggled, the injury was affected, and she sucked in cold air. Looking at Yi Chen angrily, not wanting to speak. But being held by this Rakshasa, Tsunade had a long-lost sense of security, as if being in his arms was the safest place in the world. She had a hunch that this Rakshasa should be very young, or similar to herself. Because he is also a medical ninja and has a powerful yang attribute, chakra, he is very sensitive to the perception of life breath. The man in front of him had a very strong aura of life in his body, and he had never seen it in anyone other than her grandfather. Yi Chen contains the immortal technique chakra. Every time he absorbs the power of nature through observation haki, the power of nature will wash away Yi Chen's physique, subtly transforming it. Evolve him from sage body. Perhaps the premise of sage mode is to use the power of nature, the magic chakra, to nourish the body. Coupled with the particularity of Conqueror's Haki, Yi Chen's physique has surpassed the limit time and time again, constantly changing. The physical strength is unbelievably abundant, but it is 10 points stronger than that of an adult cow, and its natural blood is strong. Not long after Yi Chen and the others left, a ninja team of more than a dozen people came to the scene. Looking at the devastated earth, the lightning arcs left on the ground from time to time flickered, the bodies of rock and soil, and many broken limbs that were not human-like, all showed horror. Lord Chio, according to the test, the identity of this seemingly complete body is Rock Shinobi Elite Jonin. A ninja said with a look of respect. Chio in front of him is the medical ninja of their Sand Shinobi village, not only that, but also the leading puppet master. Even Third Cage has a lot of respect for Chio. Today's Chio is almost 40 years old. He is a famous legend in the ninja world. Senior, his strength has reached a quasi-cage level. With that puppet technique, one person can stop 1,000 troops. Now in the Second Ninja World War, Chio is running on the battlefield with penultimate's medical ninjutsu and puppet skills. When Sand Shinobi fought Rain Shinobi, Chio deciphered the poison of Hanzo of the salamander and developed a recipe for the antidote. This can make Hanzo angry, calling her a stinky old woman. How bad is it? Giotto, I heard, the captain of Rock Shinobi. I didn't expect to die here. Onogi is probably going to die of anger. Chio said. Immediately, he glanced at the entire battlefield with a dignified expression, and said, who did such a large-scale lightning-style attack? Could it be Hatake Tsukumo? Forget it, this is the place of right and wrong. Hurry up and get out of here. Chio said. There must be more than a group of ninja teams drawn in like her. It won't be long before the battle will resume here. Sand Shinobi's army hasn't arrived yet, so there's no need to get involved. It's better to let them kill each other and take advantage of the fisherman's side. After speaking, Chio left with the Sand Shinobi team. Leaf Camp. Hatake Tsukumo sits in the camp, his face is sad, and he doesn't know if Tsunade has escaped. Just now he sensed a huge wave of thunder attribute power that destroyed the world. So it must be the ninjutsu of forbidden technique level. That area is where Tsunade is, and I don't know what happened. It's just that as a coach, you can't leave the position at will. He also lacks skills. Bang! In the tent, white smoke appeared out of thin air. Orochimaru appeared, and he said lightly, "Captain Hatake." "Orochimaru, why are you here? How is Jiraiya's situation?" Hatake Tsukumo asked quickly. Orochimaru glanced at Hatake Tsukumo and said, "I'm here to talk about this. Jiraiya's condition is very bad. If there is no antidote, I'm afraid it won't last long. If Tsunade has me back, I'll be able to find out if it's her. The antidote to cure Sancho fish. Hey, the situation is critical. Anbu has been sent to pick up Tsunade, but there has been no news." Hatake Tsukumo said. "Captain Hatake, with all due respect, what kind of team is it to rescue Tsunade? Ordinary Anbu can't succeed," Orochimaru said. "Because Anbu was dispatched all over the rain fire, there was only one person who rescued Tsunade," Hatake Tsukumo said. When Orochimaru heard the words, the snake's vertical pupils shrank tightly, and his expression became gloomy, and said, "Do you know that this decision will not only kill Tsunade, but also Jiraiya will die if there is no antidote? To actually send someone to rescue Tsunade, this is clearly inappropriate, and there is no difference between sending him to death." Orochimaru is angry and exudes a sinister aura. Seeing this, Hatake Tsukumo hurriedly explained, "This person is different, he is a team." "Who, Captain, are you kidding me?" Orochimaru sneered. "Sure enough, in the eyes of politicians, interests are the most important. I used to think that Hatake Tsukumo was a rare and upright character, but now it seems that he has gradually been corroded by the darkness of Konoha. Such a person shall not be respected by his Orochimaru. You don't know yet, not long ago, Anbu Rakshasa killed rock shinobi 20 ninjas alone, including 2 Jonin." Hatake Tsukumo said with a wry smile. He also knew that Orochimaru must have misunderstood himself. "Rakshasa, why haven't I heard of such a person?" Orochimaru wondered. He was also one of the Anbu sub-commanders. In fact, when Yi Chen joined Anbu, Sannin had already entered the battlefield ahead of schedule and left Konoha. So the perfect stagger between Orochimaru and Yi Chen. "Actually, you also know Rakshasa." Hatake Tsukumo couldn't help but sigh with an inexplicable expression. "I know it too," Orochimaru wondered, surprised. "He is." Hatake Tsukumo looked thoughtfully at the gloomy sky outside with his hands down. On the other side of the forest, on the periphery, near the creek. Tsunade, with pale blonde hair, was sitting under the tree. She had regained some strength, but it would take some time for chakra to recover. Once chakra has recovered, she can heal her injuries and recover quickly. But at this time, Tsunade didn't care about his injury, but Yi Chen, who came over after catching fish in the creek. She always felt that Yi Chen was very familiar, but she just couldn't remember it. After all, there are too many ninjas in Konoha, and Yi Chen is Anbu, so she needs to hide her identity specially, so it is normal for her not to know. Of course, Yi Chen's strength still shocked her very much. She didn't expect that in the Anbu, besides Hatake Tsukumo, there are strong people like Yi Chen. "Thank you." Tsunade nodded politely at Yi Chen, then tried to stand up, but he could barely hold the big tree beside him. Yi Chen nodded slightly, strung all the small fish he just caught on the demon sword Yanmo, then found a pile of wood and lit the fire. Poor Yanmo, the dignified and supreme knife with 21 jobs, has actually been reduced to a utility knife. Really different now. It was already evening, and the land of rain was already dark, so it looked almost the same as night. Yi Chen used Yanmo to grill fish, but he had no choice. He was in the wild and had no tools on his body, so he could only make do with it. The flames flickered, the wood squeaked from time to time, and sporadic sparks shot out. Tsunade leaned against the tree, reclining, with a strand of blonde hair hanging down in front of his fair forehead. His expression was a little lazy and charming at this time. She looked at Yi Chen's grilled fish and asked, "According to my eyes, your knife is definitely a rare magic weapon, but it is a waste to use it to grill fish. If you are in front of Hatake Tsukumo, teach you a good lesson with his character who loves swords like his life." Yi Chen shook his head and said calmly, if a knife can't be used by me, what use is it? Is it just a decoration? Although Yanmo is a rare magic weapon, if there is no powerful master to use it to kill the enemy and become famous in the world, then it's just an ordinary weapon. Seeming to understand human nature, Yanmo's blade vibrated gently. I don't know if I am dissatisfied with what Yi Chen said. This master is too shameless. He turns around and praises himself for his strength. Tsunade didn't expect Yi Chen to say that. What a strange idea. It can also be seen from the side that he is a very personable person. Just as he was about to say something, Yi Chen handed the fish over and said, "It's already baked, let's eat. To recover our strength, we can return early." Tsunade took the grilled fish, lightly opened her lips, and bit into small pieces. The crispy and fragrant fish made her taste buds shocked. Fragrant, really fragrant fish. It's much better than the half-cooked vegetarian fish in Konoha. I couldn't help but eat 2 more bites, until in the end, regardless of the image, I devoured it, and even bit the fish bones and ate it. Originally, the fish bones of the grilled fish are very crisp, and the fragrance is penetrating to the bone, chewing up, full of energy. When Yi Chen saw Tsunade's tiger side, he couldn't help but smile under the mask. He also quickly ate a few fish so that Tsunade would not eat them all by himself. After all, this fish is caught and grilled by yourself, so you have to taste it. After eating and drinking enough, Tsunade felt that he was almost full of blood and revived. Gently wiped his lips, his mind was active, and he asked, "We are in trouble together, tell me your identity." According to Konoha Anbu rules, Anbu's identity cannot be revealed. Yi Chen said, "Don't be afraid, I am familiar with Hatake Tsukumo, the 3rd generation is my teacher, the 2nd generation is my uncle, and the 2nd generation is my grandfather. I am Konoha's biggest relationship household, and I will cover you, don't be afraid." Tsunade vowed. I patted my bulging chest to promise. Seeing Tsunade's confident appearance in front of him, Yi Chen couldn't help laughing. After thinking for a while, Yi Chen slowly took off the mask and gave Tsunade a small smile. Although Anbu's ninja identity must be kept secret, Tsunade's identity is extraordinary. As she said, not only is the apprentice of 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, but also Konoha elite Jonin, and the princess of the Senju family, the granddaughter of 1st Hokage, the root-positive Miaohong. Seeing Yi Chen actually took off his mask, I was wondering who Yi Chen was, but after seeing it, his head stopped. First stunned, then completely stunned. She looked at that extremely immature face in disbelief. Although it changed a lot, she still recognized it at a glance. But she still couldn't believe it. Even if Yi Chen didn't save her just now, she would even wonder if the person in front of her was pretending to be an enemy. "Yi Chen," Tsunade said, still somewhat uncertainly. Yi Chen raised the corner of his mouth slightly, with a faint smile, and said, "I'm Yi Chen's eldest brother, Yi Lingyun. I heard that you helped Yi Chen a lot and taught him magic, thank you." "It's really you." If Tsunade was a little unsure just now, when he heard Yi Chen's joking words, he was instantly 100% sure that the person in front of him was Yi Chen. The same model, the same breath and demeanor, and even the same tone of voice. God, is she dreaming? Still awake? A hallucination? Yi Chen shrugged, not surprised that he didn't miss Tsunade at all. After all, Tsunade might be a Hokage woman. And it's the future. Sanin, how could he be as stupid as a woman, just fooling around? Tsunade, who was grateful to Yi Chen just now, instantly showed a helpless expression, clutching his forehead, tangled in his heart. In fact, she is still a little bit looking forward to whether there is a cold and handsome face under the Rakshasa mask. Carrying that kind of faint melancholy temperament, after all, which girl is not pregnant? Yi Chen hugged her and slaughtered freely in the rock shinobi encirclement. 10 steps alone, the flower of blood bloomed. How poignant and unforgettable the scene was. Tsunade felt like his dream was shattered at this time. At the same time, what was more in her heart was unbelievable, that in her eyes was just a boy with different talents and like-minded interests. In this more than half a year, like a leap, he caught up with her like this, and even suspected that he had walked in front of her. What kind of monstrous talent this is, to be able to do this. Because of the outbreak of war, the 12 little strong families such as Namikaze Minato, 1st generation Ino Shikacho have also graduated from the ninja school. But they are only genin now, Although Namikaze Minato's strength is at least Chunin, but in the battlefield of World War II, it can't play any role at all. But Yi Chen is now wrestling with Jonin, and his strength can even affect the balance of this war. What a weight. Just looking at Yi Chen this time, one person swept the rock shinobi elite troops of more than 30 people. You can know that Yi Chen already has the power of vertical and horizontal on the battlefield of World War II. Are there any ninjas on this battlefield who do this? Surely there are. Hitaki Tsukumo, Onogi, Hanzo of the Salamander, but these are all cage level. Think about it carefully, this stinky brat has taken advantage of me all the way. It's definitely intentional. After waking up from the shock, Tsunade did not change his attitude towards Yi Chen because of Yi Chen's change, and still glanced at Yi Chen angrily. In her eyes, Yi Chen is always the younger brother, and she is the eldest sister, and her status is beyond doubt. Okay Yi Chen, you have been so hard to hide from me along the way. Tsunade said deliberately. Yi Chen took a step forward, stretched out his hand to support Tsunade's soft arm, and said with a smile, "Who made you not recognize, Lord Tsunade?" Boom. Although he had almost no strength, Tsunade still tapped Yi Chen's forehead and said angrily, "Call my sister." Rustle. Suddenly there was movement in the grass in the distance. Yi Chen's eyes moved, he bent down, and suddenly hugged Tsunade horizontally. And many more. Tsunade exclaimed. Being hugged by Yi Chen again, Tsunade felt very embarrassed while being caught off guard. Being held by a boy younger than me has never felt like this before. Put me down, Tsunade said. Yi Chen was jumping back and forth in the forest at this time, and the speed was very fast, he said. This is a dangerous battlefield. Just now, our position by the creek was exposed. If we make a decision, I will take you away. The fact is also true, just in the grass he sensed a ninja approaching. After hearing this, Tsunade struggled a lot less. However, he still complained a little in his heart. Wouldn't it be okay to carry it on his back? It's too shameful to be hugged by his waist like this. Mainly Tsunade is the big sister mentality, Yi Chen is the younger brother. And in a way, Tsunade is also a woman with a feminist character. Well, let me find a safe place first. Yi Chen looked at Tsunade who was tangled in his arms, but his expression was serious, without the slightest difference. Tsunade is a black line, so it is impossible to be deceived by Yi Chen's appearance. The ghost knows if Yi Chen is already laughing in his stomach. Obviously, Yi Chen wants to take revenge when she is powerless to resist. This kid can really play. Tsunade felt helpless. Holding Tsunade, Yi Chen didn't go very far. It was impossible for her to run all the way back to Konoha's camp. I guess her body can't take it either. Moreover, this forest has just finished a battle, and it is best to hide in this forest. No one would have thought that after the battle was over, no one left. There are some hidden mountains here, which are covered by giant trees and tangled by vines. Below are rare caves, which are hidden and invisible, and are excellent hiding places. After searching for a cave, Yi Chen put Tsunade down, ignoring Tsunade's murderous gaze, and cleaned up the cave with a serious look. By the way, use the ability of Mara fruit to raise the temperature of the cave and make it drier. The humid environment is not good for your health. Just take a good rest here. With your ability, as long as you recover some chakra, you can heal the injury. Yi Chen looked at Tsunade calmly. Tsunade stared at Yi Chen for a long time, but couldn't see anything from Yi Chen's face, and finally he could only snort and walked into the cave. Although there are still injuries on his body, chakra has not recovered much, but his physical strength has almost recovered. Yi Chen couldn't help but admire Tsunade's physique in his heart. Although it is far inferior to Senju Hashirama and her after developing the Baihao technique, this natural resilience is almost stronger than his. This is also one of the fundamental reasons why Tsunade has persisted until now. On the other hand, after another team of rock shinobi was destroyed, Iwagakure exploded directly. In Tsuchikage's office, 3rd Tsuchikage Onogi, who was still very young at this time, was about the same age as Sarutobi Hiruzen. But it slammed a piece of information on the table fiercely. A bunch of trash. Onogi had an annoyed look on his face. It would have been a shame to ambush a Konoha team and not be able to escape successfully. As a result, They pursued them for several days, until they reached the hinterland of the Rain Country, but they still hadn't taken anyone down. This made Onogi a little angry, and directly dispatched rock shinobi Anbu ninjas to assist the besiegers of Konoha shinobi. After Onogi knew Tsunade's identity, he still attached great importance to it. Killing Tsunade, Konoha should be very hard. This is Hokage's student, the granddaughter of the first generation, and can greatly dampen Konoha's fighting spirit. However, in the end, this interception still ended in failure. According to the information passed back, the battlefield was a mess, and all the ninjas who went to chase and kill Tsunade have been wiped out. There was a wave of team kills before, that is, Rock Shinobi has been killed twice. About 5 Jonin have been lost since the beginning of the war, and there are countless Chunin genins. This loss really made him vomit blood. The current Onogi is not the spiritual leader of the 5 shadows in the 4th Ninja World War, but implements his own ninja will and fights Uchiha Madara. When he was young, Onogi cannot be said to be a good person, because there is no right or wrong in war. Onogi's starting point is for the country of earth, just like Konoha for the country of fire, the position is different. However, in comparison, the young Onogi is more extreme. The second ninja war can be said to be provoked by Onogi alone, and then Sand Shinobi village joined, followed by the Fire of Fire, the country of thunder in the later period of the war. Onogi turned angrily and walked around Tsuchikage's office. However, after taking a few steps, Onogi picked up the piece of information again, and after reading it again, his brows suddenly wrinkled. No, in the hinterland of the Rain Country, where did Konoha come from? How can the elite troops be in the enemy's hinterland? Is it really a decoration for the guards of the enemy's hinterland? The current Hanzo is definitely a hero, wandering between the 3 major mistakes. Although the Kingdom of Rain is weak, Rain Shinobi's strength should not be underestimated. If there are really elite troops, what do the Rain Shinobi scouts do and don't have any information at all? Something wrong. Onogi frowned, feeling that the destruction of the Rock Shinobi group was not so simple, and then ordered, "Tell me the details of the battlefield." Soon, a ninja walked in and reported to Onogi. Onogi frowned more and more, saying, "This may not be an elite force at all, it may be just a few people or even one person." The description of the scene is that the earth is surging, and there is coke, which is the trace of lava style or fire style. And the biggest trace is that there are thunder and lightning raging in a very large area, no grass grows in a radius of several miles, and everything is gone. Such a large range is not an ordinary ninjutsu at all, it is very likely a forbidden technique. Even the effect of some kind of blood following the boundary, such a character should not be unknown, and it should just appear suddenly. Then who is this person? It's a pity that he can't go to the battlefield, because the shadow of the 3 major ninja villages did not go. This is a tacit understanding. If they really want to go to the battlefield, it means that the war has come to the end, the decisive moment. Konoha has a lot of cards. Thinking of this time the team destroys his proud disciple Huo-2, that is a genius who can use lava-style blood to follow the limit. In the future, he may inherit his position and become the new Tsuchikage. Now it's dead. Onogi took a deep breath, and his expression became a lot colder. War and hatred will eventually make people lost and plunged into a situation of irreversibility. Returning to Tsuchikage's seat, after thinking for a long time, Onogi issued several orders. It's time to give Konoha some color and make them pay for it. The hinterland of the Rain Country. The rain is falling, even if it is blocked by the dense canopy, it will still fall from the gap. And below, behind the vines, inside a cave, it was very dry. Tsunade was sitting there with her eyes closed, recovering chakra through meditation. Her wounds were simply bandaged and not healed. It's so easy to get infected. After a while, Tsunade slowly opened his eyes, glanced at Yi-Chen who was sitting beside him, and said, "My chakra is almost recovered." "Yeah," Yi-Chen responded without raising his head, leaning on the stone wall with his entire body. "I'm going to treat my injuries next," Tsunade added. "Yeah," Yi-Chen continued to lower his head to respond, neither salty nor bland. Seeing this, the black lines on Tsunade's forehead became more and more, and he clenched his iron fist tightly, really wanting to punch someone. "Then get out of here quickly." Yi-Chen raised his head suddenly and looked at Tsunade with a stunned expression. The next moment, Yi Chen understood that Tsunade had a lot of wounds on his body, and there were also a lot of bloodlines, so she probably needed to clean it up. Some bloodlines have been used for many days, but smelling it on the nose is very sour. Yi Chen deliberately covered his nose. This move made Tsunade angry again. He only felt a pain in his chest. He was going to be pissed. Go away. Tsunade pointed to the entrance of the cave. Sister Tsunade, it's raining outside. Yi Chen said. You're a ninja who kills rock shinobi and chops vegetables like melons and vegetables. Tsunade said, rolling his eyes. Hey, no one cares for the orphan. After shrugging, Yi Chen let out a long sigh, then turned around and walked out. Tsunade looked at Yi Chen's back, a little helpless, and then stretched out his jade hand. A soft green light glowed on his palm, and gently pressed it on one of her wounds. After leaving the cave, Yi Chen had no intention of going back to Peep. Jiraiya Peep's Tsunade was nearly killed by a punch, leaving scars that will never heal. Yi Chen has never forgotten the plot in this original work. Of course, to be honest, Yi Chen is only under 10 years old, but his appearance makes people ignore this. He is still at an ignorant age. With a slight pouting, Yi Chen said that Tsunade is treating him specially to children of the same age who are more intelligent than his peers. If he doesn't trust himself, how can he let him go out? Outside the cave, Yi Chen stood on a tree, watching the falling raindrops. The subconscious mind is more than the eyes, listening to the voice of nature. Observation Haki listens to the sound of all things. In fact, it is not that you can hear all things by seeing and hearing, this is just one of the development directions. At this moment, listening to the sound of the rain with sight and hearing is a different taste. The sound of rain resounded in his ears, echoing, and seeing and hearing colors continuously radiated his perception. For a while, I was relaxed and happy, as if the whole world was under my control. Compared with the previous perception range, LV4's sense of sight has expanded a lot, and the cognition of the power of nature is also more profound. Even the efficiency of absorbing the power of nature into the magic chakra has been doubled. If it was 1 before, it is now 2. Within a range of 1,500 meters, everything cannot escape your perception. The real absolute field, control all movements. In other places, he can also perceive the number of movements, but the orientation is a little vague. What? Just as Yi Chen was immersed in the state of perceiving the power of nature, he broke into a figure who should not be here in his own domain. Why is he here? And the situation is not good, should I save him? Yi Chen said to himself. At this time Tsunade was healing in the cave, so he couldn't be left unattended. After thinking for a while, Yi Chen made a seal, performed the shadow clone technique, and another Yi Chen appeared. Clone, I'll leave it to you first. Protect Tsunade, Yi Chen said. Don't worry, deity, you still don't know your own strength, although it is a clone, even if it is a normal Jonin, I will smash his head. The clone smiled confidently. With this in mind, Yi Chen used the shave to disappear in place. Oh, I'm going to pretend again. The clone smiled and shook his head. In an empty place, Anbu Tengu is standing quietly, and in front of Tengu, there is a man in a black robe standing. His dress is also Anbu dress, but not Konoha, but Sand Shinobi. It is the Anbu ninja of Sunagakur who aims at Konoha Anbu, Juro Kunomiya. Generals, soldiers to soldiers, Anbu to Anbu. This is happening all the time in ninja battlegrounds. At this time, Tengu was a little embarrassed, and the black robe on his body was scratched several times, revealing his fair and delicate skin, and blood stained his arms. You're the best among the Konoha shinobi I've killed before, but you're not my opponent. Juro said that in his hand he was holding a simple long knife. The blade was straight and long, the blade was sharp, the surface was covered with some mysterious pattern, and it was faintly flashing with an imposing aura. Tengu was out of breath, and he was unlucky to meet Sand Shinobi's special Jonin, who was the special Jonin in front of him. And she is Chunin, and the level gap makes her no match for the person in front of her anyway. If it weren't for him. In particular, the sword in Juro's hand is not an ordinary sword, but a magical weapon created by the grass pheasant family, the grass pheasant sword. She doesn't know why Sand Shinobi has a grass pheasant sword, but the addition of this sword makes Juro an official Jonin. Juro was not willing to waste the world, so he held the grass pheasant sword tightly in both hands and said, Secret art. Dance of shadow killing. The sword in Zhugong's hand suddenly fell towards the Tengu, which seemed to be chakra's flowing tricks, but the effect was completely different. With the fall of his sword, the whole sky suddenly flickered, and thousands of identical swords were transformed. Like a rain of swords in the sky, it crashed down towards the Tengu. What kind of ninjutsu is this? No, what a superb swordsmanship. Tengu only felt that he was enveloped by thousands of sword energy, and he would be swallowed up at any time, and suddenly shouted, "Sharingan, open!" Under the Tengu mask, two scarlet guyu suddenly appeared in Tengu's eyes. The two-hook jade kept moving, trying to see clearly the sword power of Jiro. Immediately, the shadow of the sword in the sky disappeared, and in the eyes of Tengu, there was only one sword left. Between life and death, Tengu retreated with all his strength, evading this must-kill. It's just that there is no way to retreat, because Zhugong's sword is coming again, and the speed of the two is not at the same level. Clang! A black shadow appeared and grabbed the grass pheasant sword with his bare hands. Tengu looked at the person who suddenly appeared in disbelief, and said in surprise, "How could it be him?" Click. At this time, a small gap appeared on the mask on Tengu's face, and then the two halves fell apart. Before the second breath, Yi Chen had silently arrived at the scene where Tengu and Sand Shinobi were fighting, but he did not show up immediately but hid aside. Konoha Anbu Tengu, he is an official member. He is also the leader of Yi Chen's entry into Anbu. Although the two know each other, they are not too familiar. After he brought himself into Anbu, he never saw the Tengu again, and he also forgot about the Tengu. I didn't expect to see him again today, but in such a situation. I wanted to see the strength of the Tengu, but when I was in Anbu, I felt that the Tengu was clumsy and the strength is far more than the surface. Sure enough, after some observation, he judged the strength of Tengu as elite Chunin, the backbone member of Anbu. And most importantly, the most surprising Tengu actually has Sharingan. What does it mean to have a Sharingan? Uchiha blood, Uchiha's clan. And he is even more incompatible with Uchiha, killing several members of Uchiha one after another. Tengu is Uchiha, which he never imagined. Since it is Uchiha, why has he never felt killing intent on Tengu before? Be aware that observation Haki can perceive the maliciousness of the enemy. To save or not to save. The identity of the other party is Uchiha, so don't save yourself. After all, there is a relationship with Uchiha, but then I think that Uchiha is not all-headed. Tengu is with him, Anbu, and he really helped him. But then, he had already made up his mind. The air was silent, and the sky was raining. Yi Chen appeared in an instant, his palm was covered with armed color, and he grabbed Jiro's grass pheasant sword at once. The grass pheasant sword is worthy of being a divine weapon, even with the protection of armed color, his palm still feels a stinging pain. He increased his strength, the armed black hands and the grass pheasant sword collided tightly, and strands of dark red haki stirred between each other and shot. Yeah, Jiro felt that his grass pheasant sword was being pinched by a piece of fine iron, and a huge force attacked his arm along the sword body, only to feel a pounding force rushing towards him. Under the astonishment, he hurriedly used a skillful force, pulled out the grass pheasant sword, and flashed backwards, his eyes were uncertain. Rikshasa. Tengu looked at Yi Chen in shock, but he didn't expect him to appear. Click. Like a small sound, a crack appeared in the middle of Tengu's mask, and then it split into two halves with a snap, falling to both sides. Yi Chen turned his head to look and saw the true appearance of Tengu. Even he, at this moment, couldn't help but show a look of astonishment. Is it dazzling? Looking at the slightly flustered beautiful face in front of me, Tengu is actually a woman. Long straight black hair, black spar-like eyes, and unbelievably delicate facial features mixed with the softness of a classical woman, wearing a Konoha forehead protector on her forehead, yet she looks heroic. Why are you a woman? Yi Chen couldn't help but blurt out, and this woman was a little familiar. In a panic, Tengu quickly picked up the mask and put it on again, but found that the mask had been divided into two halves at this time, and it was impossible to wear it again, and said nervously, "This is not the time to say this, Rikshasa. Thank you for rescuing me, but this sand shinobi is strong, you have to be careful." Putting aside his doubts for a while, Yi Chen turned his gaze to Jiro again. Is it a supporter? Haha, but it's just an addition of a dead soul under the sword. Jiro Jugong slowly raised the grass pheasant sword. He is holding a grass pheasant sword, you have to be careful. Tengu reminded. The grass pheasant sword. It's actually in Sand Shinobi's hands. Yi Chen thought for a moment. There are a total of 3 pheasant swords that appeared in the original book: Orochimaru's pheasant sword Serato, Uchiha Itachi's pheasant sword Tenken sword, and Uchiha Sasuke's pheasant sword Chidori. Looking at the grass pheasant sword in front of me, according to the timeline, it is speculated that this is very likely to be Orochimaru's empty sword. Of course, Orochimaru hasn't got the pheasant sword yet. Then it should not be long before Orochimaru will kill Jiro and get the pheasant sword. Secret art. Dance of shadow killing. Jiro shouted. As he slashed with this sword, the sky suddenly flickered, and thousands of identical swords appeared. Good come. Bang. A scroll appeared in Yi Chen's hand, and then the demon sword Yanmo was in his hand. Another grenade attribute, chakra, is transformed into a thunder sword directly with the qualitative change and form change. Facing the rain of swords in the sky, Yi Chen looked solemn and said, Second world 72 troubles. 2 swords stream, 72 troubled winds. It seems to be just a simple double knife sweep. As Yi Chen swung his sword out, a white sword glow with whirling blade light was thrown straight to the top by Yi Chen. And the sword that filled the sky also poured down like a violent storm. The two suddenly collided in midair. Boom! Under the whirling sword wind like the power of a cannon, the air was slashed suddenly, as if cracks appeared in the whole sky. Under the two swords, the sword rain that filled the sky was shredded inch by inch, shattered and destroyed, and finally all dissipated. The wind of worry is known as the flying slash, and it is like a cannon roaring under a slash, not to mention the two-sword flow, which shatters directly. It's amazing. Is this his strength? Tengu couldn't help thinking. Seeing this scene, Jiro's pupils also shrank, showing a hint of vigilance and surprise. He didn't expect Yi Chen's tricks to be very special and powerful. The opponent is also a ninja with grandmaster swordsmanship. Taking a deep breath, Jiro spun the grass pheasant sword in his hand again, waved it abruptly, and launched a second attack. Secret art. Phantom kill. Whoosh. The next moment, Jugong's figure suddenly hollowed, and then seemed to turn into a few afterimages, suddenly appearing in all directions of Yi Chen. Then, these afterimages all waved the swords in their hands. When they swung their swords, those swords brought afterimages and transformed into dozens of sword edges, completely shrouding Yi Chen in them, and there was no way to escape. Doppelganger. Seeing this scene, Yi Chen swayed, but his expression became more and more calm. What Yi Chen is not afraid of the most is group fights, especially this kind of dazzling attack that is scattered and dazzling. It's flashy. After all, only one is true. Watch him break all the tricks. In the face of this kind of attack, Yi Chen only needs one punch to break through. With a light hand, Yan Mo inserted into the ground in front of him, and then Yi Chen's arms were slightly staggered in front of his chest. At this time, from all directions, 9 phantoms formed a circle and stabbed him, as if to stab him into a hedgehog. Armed color. Hardened. Strange power. Iron fist breaks the army. Boom. Yi Chen suddenly hit the ground with a punch, and it was like an earthquake. The ground roared, and with it as the center, it cracked open inch by inch, spreading to the distance. The power of shattering directly destroyed the 9 phantoms around him. No matter how fast you run, the ground is uneven, broken, and see how you run. Chapter 91. Boom. The deafening sound made people feel terrified, like a cannon roaring in the ear. It was too loud. The earth roared and vibrated, extending from the sides to the 4 corners to all directions, cracking apart inch by inch, spreading to the distance. Cracked, rubble, the crust is like a flip, plopping up into the folds. Jiro's 9 phantom killing suddenly blurred. The essence of this secret technique still relies on speed. Without a flat ground, its power will naturally be greatly reduced. Shave. Yi Chen also moved, decisive and ruthless. Those afterimages and sword shadows were smashed by Yi Chen's punch like a smash. It was like a bubble, it was burst out of thin air and evaporated. Not good. Jiro's body hidden in the afterimages, seeing this scene, suddenly showed a hint of shock. He obviously didn't expect that Yi Chen's strength was so strong, and he could launch such an attack that covered all directions in all directions. In addition to being shocked, he could only inject chakra into the blade in his hand, and then swing it abruptly, at the same time using the force of his feet to retreat. If he didn't understand how strong Yi Chen's strange power was, he naturally wouldn't fight with Yi Chen recklessly. No one who can become a Jonin is an ordinary person, unless it is a brainless person. After a brief confrontation, Yi Chen already understood Jiro's strength. Because the Kusanagi sword is in hand, although the strength of Jugong is a special Jonin, it is stronger than the general Jonin, close to the elite Jonin. The Kusanagi sword is not just a sharp sword. It is made of the hardest material in the world, not only has the capacity to carry super strong chakra. I am afraid it is far stronger than the ancestral white fang in the hands of Hitaki Tsukumo. Moreover, the grass pheasant sword is one of the 3 sacred weapons of the day, and its abilities are far more than what you see in front of you. It has a unique Kusanagi swordsmanship or secret art. The sword rain that filled the sky just now, and those sword shadows, is a manifestation of Kusanagi swordsmanship. And Orochimaru used to stretch the Kusanagi sword suddenly, or to release the array of 10,000 snakes, and each snake spit out a Kusanagi sword, which also belonged to the category of Kusanagi swordsmanship. To put it simply, it is a knife similar to the Mist Shinobi ninja sword. Each of those ninja knives has special abilities, and the Kusanagi sword also has it. Therefore, after thinking about this, Yi Chen already had the intention of taking the grass pheasant sword as his own, and he did not hide his murderous intention at all. Treasures of magic weapons, those who are capable live. In the world of ninjas, whoever is humble and courteous to you, a big fist is the last word. Yi Chen's killing intent has been condensed so far. After all, it was created with human life. It was enough to affect the atmosphere of the environment. Originally, there was an extremely depressing atmosphere here, but now it is freezing cold. It was not surprising that Jiro revealed killing intent to Yi Chen, and he also showed killing intent because he also took a fancy to Yi Chen's demon sword, Yan Mo. He is also a god soldier in another world, and as a swordsman with excellent swordsmanship, Jiro recognized Yan Mo's extraordinary ability at a glance, and he was not even under the grass pheasant sword. Use your strongest swordsmanship, or you will die in the next move. Under the Rakshasa mask, Yi Chen spoke indifferently. His words were full of strong confidence and pride. This time, Jiro Juguo didn't speak, and the real swordsmanship will not be evasive. When using the sword technique, it is necessary to enter a state of no self, and then the man and the sword are one. He made a simple movement, holding the Kusanagi sword in both hands and laying it horizontally in front of him. A wisp of chakra surged and spread over the Kusanagi sword. In fact, not many people can use chakra to flow, because it requires extremely high control, at least at the level of Jonin. But Yi Chen met one by one: Cloud Shinobi Armani, Rock Shinobi, Sand Shinobi. At this moment, when a gleaming white edge appeared on the sword of Kusanagi sword, a slaughter that seemed to penetrate the sky and the earth also spread out. The sharpness of that sword seems to be able to sever everything, tear the sky apart, and you can really feel a bit of icy cold from far away. And when Jiro slowly raised the grass pheasant sword, the edge became more and more prosperous, and the momentum also continued to rise. At this moment, his whole person seemed to have turned into a sword that was invincible and cut off everything. Strictly speaking, this move can no longer be regarded as the category of ninjutsu or secret art. This is similar to the tactics used by the warriors of the Iron Kingdom, and it is close to pure swordsmanship. Yi Chen didn't interrupt Jugong Jiro's condensing aura, because he was also concentrating his aura. Knife shines. When Jiro's aura reached its peak, there were 2 intimidating eyes in his eyes. Then the whole figure suddenly turned into an afterimage, and quickly rushed towards Yi Chen. The speed was so fast that the naked eye could not see it clearly. It was already at the level of an instant. Looking at this scene, Yi Chen also slowly lifted the Yan Mo in his hand, and on the blade, black haki and purple demonic energy were intertwined. In a short period of time, Yan Mo turned into a black sword filled with purple demonic energy, exuding strangeness and ominousness, as if it came from the abyss, full of wild and unruly. LV4 seeing and hearing colors open perception. Various pictures flashed in Yi Chen's eyes, which were predicting the future and various possible scenarios. Predict the future 0.5 seconds. He saw it. A decisive blow, a life and death blow. Shave. Yi Chen turned into an aurora at this moment, a black light that penetrated the space. At this moment, the sky and the earth are dark, and there is only a black sword light in the world. The whole world turned into a bloody world, as if it came from an ancient battlefield, full of grief. The black knife light left a meniscus arc here. It's like a pair of ink paintings, the finishing touch. Clang, sword, light and sword shadow, only a sound is left. The screen freezes, and Yi Chen and Jiro pass by, both of them standing still. Yi Chen retracted his sword and stood with his hands behind his back. A blood line appeared on Jiro's neck, his pupils dilated suddenly, his whole body bent down, and his body lost his breath. The pheasant sword trembled, it summoned and whined. The bloody world receded, and everything returned to reality. Call. Taking a deep breath, Yi Chen already had multiple cold sweats on his face. It was the first time to predict the future with the color of knowledge. Even if he only predicted for 0.5 seconds, he felt that his energy was consumed a lot and he was a little sleepy. He's dead. Tengu came over, and the battle was over sooner than he expected. Thought it would be a tug of war, a protracted war. But after a short period of temptation, life and death were decided in one stroke. Died. However, Tengu, what is your real identity? Yi Chen asked while picking up the grass pheasant sword. Tengu looked at Yi Chen, was silent for a moment, and said slowly. I am Uchiha Makoto. Quote. Yi Chen, Uchiha Makoto. Ah, Tengu's real identity is Uchiha Makoto. Why does a female ninja take such an indiscriminate name? And it feels so tall and weird. Uchiha Makoto looked at Yi Chen strangely and couldn't help but say. What's the matter, you seem to have something to say. In her impression, Yi Chen is a very cold ninja who doesn't talk much, and rarely shows his emotions. As a Uchiha ninja, with Sharingan, you can clearly feel that Yi Chen's mood has fluctuated just now. It was like a pot of tea that suddenly boiled, although it fell silent again in an instant. But what does this definitely mean? It's nothing, Yi Chen said lightly, and he didn't bother to explain because of his personality, just looked at Uchiha Makoto one more time. In the original book, Uchiha Makoto's role is not much, and he died when he appeared, and was killed by the 2 or 5 Itachi. But there is no doubt that although Uchiha Makoto died early, he was also a very popular character. And in the original book, Kushina is still a best friend. But according to the current situation, Makoto is much younger than Kushina. But the friendship between women is not clear from age. Very mysterious. Seeing that Yi Chen wasn't ready to answer, Uchiha Makoto said lightly, I thought you would ask why the Uchiha family is in Anbu, and they haven't killed you yet, right? It doesn't matter, because for me, since I'm ready to kill me, I have to be determined to be killed. Yi Chen's emotions were not disturbed. He took out the ninja tool scroll, sealed the grass pheasant sword and Yanmo, and put it in his ninja tool bag. Sure enough, you are such a cruel person. You are not older than me. Uchiha Makoto couldn't help saying. But I saved you, Yi Chen said, looking directly at Uchiha Makoto wearing a Rakshasa mask. Uchiha Makoto was slightly startled, the 2 guyu in his pupils disappeared automatically, and then said helplessly. Actually, the Uchiha clan are not all radicals like the patriarch. There are also Uchiha clan among the disciples of second Hokage Tobirama-sama. Uchiha Kagami is my grandfather, he has always been on Hokage's side, maintaining the relationship between the clan and Konoha, so I will join Anbu under my grandfather's will, not the root. Uchiha Kagami. Yi Chen thought for a while after hearing this. There is indeed such a person, and he used to be teammates with Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo. It is the faction of the clan chief Dunshin that is in conflict with you. In fact, most of the Uchiha clan still yearn for peace. It's just that there are some things that have ruined the atmosphere of our clan. In addition, the Uchiha clan is extremely easy to be influenced by emotions, which has led to the current situation. Tension with Konoha, Uchiha Makoto continued. You don't need to tell me this, it means nothing to me. Yi Chen said, tidying up slightly and preparing to leave. Seeing that Yi Chen was leaving, Uchiha Makoto hesitated and said, Can I come with you? Rakshasa. As you like. Yi Chen didn't refuse. After listening, Uchiha Makoto hurriedly followed behind Yi Chen. There is no way, this ninja world battlefield, step-by-step crisis, if you are not careful, you will be killed. Following the strong is the wisest choice, and because Uchiha Makoto is still injured, she can only choose to go with Yi Chen. Not long after they left, another team of ninjas arrived. It is the team led by Sand Shinobi Chiyo's mother-in-law. Chiyo-sama, there is a situation ahead. Sand Shinobi Anbu Ninja said, pointing to the battlefield ahead. Go and have a look. Chiyo showed a solemn expression. And when they saw Jiro's body, Chiyo's expression changed drastically, and they couldn't believe it, and took 2 steps back. How could it be? How could Jugong be dead? He is a special Jonin, and he also has a grass pheasant sword. Lord Chiyo, Lord Kunomiya has a bloodstain on his neck that he was killed by a knife. Said Anbu Sand Shinobi. Death with 1 knife. This. Who did it? Who did it? The entire forest is full of Chiyo's roar, full of anger and resentment, echoing back and forth. After a long time, Chiyo calmed down and said slowly, Nine Palace is the backbone of Sand Shinobi's younger generation, especially the swordsmanship is superb. Who can kill him with 1 strike? The opponent must be a master of swordsmanship. Could it be Hatake Sakumo? Do it yourself. Impossible. Lord Chiyo, and the most important point. Lord Jugong's pheasant sword is gone. The Sand Shinobi said slowly. Chiyo's complexion changed suddenly, it turned black like a dark cloud, and he almost gritted his teeth. Follow the user of the grass pheasant sword. Once you find it, gather Sand Shinobi to kill this person with all your strength. Jugong will not sacrifice in vain, we want revenge. Yes. Sand Shinobi bowed their heads one after another, raised their fists on their chests, and looked solemn. Those who sacrificed for the war are all heroes, the martyrs of the land of wind, and must be respected. On the other side, Yi Chen and Uchiha Makoto jumped from the forest and came to the hidden cave soon after. At the entrance of the cave, the clone was alerting the surrounding environment. After seeing the deity coming, the clone said hello and disappeared with a bang. From the avatar's memory, it was known that the period of time he left was not unusual. Yi Chen said, Tengu, you stay outside first, I'll go in. Uchiha Makoto had nothing to do, nodding lightly. Then Yi Chen plunged into the cave. Immediately afterwards, a roar came from inside the cave. Who let you in? Brat. Quote. Uchiha Makoto. Inside the cave, Tsunade's face was flushed, and he was holding his chest tightly, looking extremely messy, with black lines on his head, exuding a terrifying aura. Yi Chen was stunned in place. The picture he saw appeared in his mind, and he said with some wood, I said it was an accident, sister, do you believe it? He had a fight with Jugong, and when he came back, he forgot that Tsunade was still in the dressing room. But he felt that after a long time, Tsunade should be replaced. But after entering, he realized that he thought too much. Against the background of the golden flames, Tsunade's smooth and flawless beauty turned her back to the hole. Her shirt was almost gone, and she wiped the potion lightly with 1 hand. This picture is beautiful. Then when Yi Chen walked in, Tsunade immediately turned around when he noticed the movement, and all his loose clothes fell off. Look, Tsunade was ashamed at this point. Oh my god, she's about to collapse. I didn't see it. Yi Chen retorted instantly, then took off his cloak and threw it directly at Tsunade. Tsunade took it, instantly covering her almost perfect body, and then a terrifying fist continued to gather. Sister, don't be angry. Otherwise your wound will collapse. Yi Chen knew that he was wrong and stepped back step by step. He wouldn't be severely injured like Jiraiya. Yi Chen expected to be seriously injured but did not appear, after Tsunade came over. Just lightly stretched out a finger and touched the middle of his forehead. How similar this scene is. Seeing Yi Chen's appearance, Tsunade asked, why don't you dodge? Isn't it easy to dodge with your strength? In Konoha, Tsunade, you are one of the few people who treat me well. So I don't run away. Yi Chen replied. Indeed, if it was an ordinary woman, he would not bother to make trouble without reason, and it was not intentional. But Tsunade not only saved him, but also taught him how to use his magic power. This kind of kindness cannot be forgotten. Although Yi Chen is a cold-blooded Rakshasa in the eyes of others, in front of Tsunade, he is willing to be an ordinary boy. Call my sister. When Tsunade heard it, he smiled and seemed to be enjoying it. I did feel a little impulsive just now. Yi Chen is not Jiraiya. If it was Jiraiya, 80% of the time he would peek. But Yi Chen is better than Jiraiya in every aspect. After reading this, Tsunade said, Yi Chen, you saved my life. Tell me if you have any requirements, and I will promise you. Yi Chen didn't expect Tsunade to say such a thing, it seems to have become a lot gentler. He carefully looked at the Tsunade in front of him. The Tsunade under the black cloak was graceful, undulating and full of a different style, which made people take a few more glances and said, You can really ask for anything. Tsunade was about to agree, and suddenly caught Yi Chen's gaze. Angrily, he knocked Yi Chen on the head and said, Children, don't think so much. Oh, no sincerity. Forget it, you don't need to repay. Yi Chen could only say so. However, in the next moment, under Yi Chen's astonished gaze, Tsunade suddenly moved closer, lightly opened his red lips, and kissed his forehead lightly, like a dragonfly on water, and left with a touch. That's it. Tsunade stepped back immediately, blushing, trying to calm down. To be honest, she herself didn't understand why she was sitting like that just now, it was completely spontaneous and uncontrollable. Oh, Yi Chen replied, is this a forcible kiss, so do you want to return it? Think carefully for a second, for the sake of life, let's forget it. Tsunade gradually calmed down at this time, and asked, what's the matter with just coming in? Yes, during your healing time. I went out and got a Konoha Anbu, from the Uchiha clan. Yi Chen said. Could the Uchiha clan, Anbu, be descendants of Uchiha Kagami? Tsunade said. Yes, do you want to let her in? Yi Chen said. If Tsunade doesn't agree, he won't let Makoto enter the cave, at most give her another place to stay. Yi Chen, don't ask me about this kind of thing. With your relationship with the Uchiha clan, you can save people. If I don't agree, wouldn't I be too narrow-minded? Tsunade laughed, not knowing what Yi Chen meant. Yi Chen's cold face showed a slight smile. Tsunade clapped his hands when he saw it. Yi Chen, you are actually pretty when you smile, very sunny, don't keep your face cold all day, you should smile more, then you will discover the beauty of life. Quote. Yi Chen was speechless and said, Sister Tsunade, in fact, you are not narrow-minded at all, and you are also very broad and great. That's right, don't even look at who I am. Tsunade was very proud to be praised like this. But after carefully chewing Yi Chen's words, it seemed that there was something in the words. Suddenly, the face that had just calmed down became flushed with shame and anger. It's just that Yi Chen has used the shave to instantly come out of the cave, away from the volcano that is on the verge of eruption. Outside the cave, Uchiha Makoto looked calm and didn't seem to see the situation inside the cave. This is the conduct of Anbu ninjas. Watch what you should watch, don't watch what you shouldn't watch, stick to your duty, and be a ninja. Yi Chen looked at Uchiha Makoto, did not explain, just said, inside is Konoha elite Jonin Tsunade, she is injured. You saved it too? Uchiha Makoto asked subconsciously. Yi Chen nodded. Well, at this point Uchiha Makoto doesn't know how to express his feelings. Even the elite Jonin of Konoha wants Yi Chen to rescue him, that is third Hokage's proud disciple, the princess of the Senju clan, Lord Tsunade. Although Tsunade is an elite Jonin, his real combat power must be quasi-cage level. Because of the same level of ninja, no one can resist Tsunade's punch. Even Cloud Shinobi's lightning armor will blow you away with one punch. If this kind of strength requires Yi Chen's rescue, then Yi Chen's own strength must be so powerful. She has continuously improved her understanding of Yi Chen, but under constant cognition, Yi Chen refreshed again and again, which has subverted her imagination. I'm afraid this is a monster in human skin. How long he has been in Anbu, he has achieved many achievements that a ninja could never achieve in his life. Master Tsunade is really inside? Uchiha Makoto asked. Yeah, Yi Chen nodded without saying anything, and went back to the cave again. Taking a deep breath, Uchiha Makoto followed, and in a way the current Tsunade is the idol of the female ninja with Tomoba. Because in Konoha, the real Jonin ninjas are basically mostly male, and there are few females, and even very few. And in this era, people still prefer patriarchal thinking, and female ninjas are rare. It is really rare that a granddaughter like Tsunade, a student of 3rd Hokage, has the strength of elite Jonin. But when he entered the cave, what Uchiha Makoto saw was different from what he imagined. In her impression, Tsunade in her mind should be wearing a valiant Jonin vest, Konoha forehead protector, sharp eyes. Even if he is injured or encounters difficulties, his demeanor should not diminish. It's just that in this cave, who is the woman wearing a black cloak with a haggard face and messy hair? Master Tsunade. Uchiha Makoto couldn't help but said, seeing the idol. The gap in his heart was a little big, but he couldn't say it. It was weird. Tsunade is not the kind of woman who cares about the details. When she became Hokage, she didn't walk around wearing slippers every day. She leaned against the stone wall, put her arms on her chest, and said in a very social big sister tone, "Girl, you are the descendant of Uchiha Kagami." Quote. Seeing this scene, Yi Chen showed no expression, and quietly watched Tsunade play, as if she liked it too. "Yes, Master Tsunade. My grandfather was Uchiha Kagami," Uchiha Makoto said. "I remember that the old third generation said that Uchiha Kagami, like him, is a student of Tobirama's second uncle. But the third generation is only the sons, you are the granddaughters, the family is multiplying really fast," Tsunade said with a wonderful brain. What? Uchiha Makoto was stunned, not on the same channel at all. At such a young age, he is already an elite chunin. Very good. There are people who are also beautiful. By the way, your Sharingan drove a few tomo. Tsunade's crackling question made Uchiha Makoto overwhelmed and didn't know how to respond, so he could only smile bitterly. I'd better go outside and explore the surroundings first. Uchiha Makoto fled out of the cave, panicking. Such a Tsunade-sama is not normal. Not long after he left, Yi Chen said, "Tsunade, you did this on purpose." "It's called sister." Tsunade's beautiful eyes stared, and he didn't seem to be satisfied with the name Yi Chen. Yi Chen shrugged his shoulders, with an expression like "you can't help me." Although Uchiha Makoto is a descendant of Uchiha Kagami, there are some things I don't want her to know, so I say this. Tsunade took a deep breath and said, his face solemn. "Really?" Yi Chen said. "Yi Chen, do you have a bloodline limit on fire style?" Tsunade said. "Sure enough, I'm still asking this question." Yi Chen knew that after using the Mera fruit ability, Tsunade would ask this question, but he didn't expect it to come so quickly. "Yes, Sister Tsunade, you will keep it a secret for me," Yi Chen said. "Really, you kid is really a monster, how can you have so many strange abilities?" Tsunade didn't know what to say, covering his head with a headache. "There's no way, you're very talented." Yi Chen smiled. "I'll keep it a secret, and I know your concerns, Yi Chen." Tsunade promised seriously. Yi Chen smiled. In fact, in the current situation, keeping secrets is not important anymore. With his strength, he can almost traverse the current ninja world. If Konoha really does not allow him in the future, he is not afraid. It's just a shot or two. Get some rest early, Tsunade, Yi Chen said. After a while Uchiha Makoto entered the cave again. Tsunade was still easygoing, but he didn't ask any questions like before, and Makoto is a very smart girl who has noticed something, but didn't say anything. The night was silent and passed in a blink of an eye. The three lived in seclusion in a cave, or lived a secluded life, and they became familiar with each other. Tsunade also fell in love with Uchiha Makoto, a girl who seemed to be quiet and gentle. Yi Chen was not idle either, looking for a secluded place nearby to practice. However, due to limited time, he did not practice Haki, but practiced Marine 6 styles shaved alone. Shave. Boom. Yi Chen's legs suddenly kicked the ground, and the ground under his feet suddenly burst open, while Yi Chen's body turned into an afterimage, and instantly rushed to the front of a big tree in the distance. The big tree smashed to pieces. The speed is astounding. It seems that there are still some subtle things that can be adjusted. Although the speed was fast this time, Yi Chen was still not satisfied. To do it must be the fastest, after so many battles. Yi Chen deeply understands how important speed is to ninjas. The third ninja war Namikaze Minato won the name of Yellow Flash in one fell swoop. The limelight is still stronger than Konoha's White Fang. Although shaving is a skill given by the system, it also has level restrictions, which can be upgraded through experience. But Yi Chen found that this skill can be improved by training. There is no need to wait for the experience to level up step by step. Although he has used the Thunder attribute chakra active cells to increase his physical fitness and speed, there is still room for improvement. The essence of shaving is to step on the ground at high speed dozens of times to generate explosive reaction force to move at high speed, and it seems like disappearing from the eyes of the enemy. Reaction force. Yi Chen continued to analyze the shaving, and suddenly found that the power of the shaving seemed to be inseparable from the power. Does it mean that the stronger the reaction force, the faster the speed? It seems to sound good. What if I use my feet to send out a strange force and step on the ground at high speed with the strange force? Yi Chen said to himself, his eyes getting brighter and brighter. He felt that it was feasible. Ghost force. Shave. The earth cracked open again, only to hear a bang. It was like an earthquake, like the destroyer of the earth. However, this time Yi Chen's speed was almost invisible to the afterimage, as if flickering, and suddenly appeared in the distance. Simply teleport, from one point to another. More than double the speed. Even, Yi Chen himself almost collided with a big tree, because he didn't have the attribute speed for a while. When he stopped, Yi Chen himself had a look of astonishment, and immediately showed a look of surprise. This is the most perfect shave, and there is no afterimage. After countless adjustments and improvements, the details of chakra have finally been changed to the most perfect level, and then driven by strange force, the explosive force exploded. The speed at this moment is probably not much less than the speed of fourth Reikage in the original book. Yi Chen thought. Fourth Reikage Eye's lightning style chakra mode is very skilled, almost activating the cells of the whole body. Its amazing speed can be comparable to Namikaze Minato. The speed is like blue lightning. It can be said that it is already the ultimate of body flicker technique. Yi Chen then repeated the training for some time, and gradually controlled the speed of the skyrocketing. However, the shaving speed of driving with strange force is fast, but it is a little bad. Waist legs, waist shoes. Needless to say about waist shoes, basically after a few uses, the shoes should not be able to withstand such a large explosive force and break. There should be legs. The effect of force is mutual, the strong reaction force is transmitted on the calf, and the body cannot bear the body flicker technique of this level continuously, which brings too much pressure to the legs. To put it simply, the stronger the body, the more it can withstand the effect of stronger shaving, and the faster the speed of the instant explosion. Shaving is also a growth trick, which is closely related to the user's physique. There is no doubt about that. With the increase in speed, Yi Chen really wanted to find a cage-level powerhouse to fight to see how far his strength stood, but cage-level powerhouses were not so easy to meet. Of course, Yi Chen's strength is indeed increasing too fast. It is unimaginable to let ordinary ninjas catch up. There are Jonins at this age, but cage-level ones are almost none. Yi Chen doesn't know if he is enough cage-level, but if he really encounters it, he will know it in the last battle, and such a battle is urgently needed. Although cage level is the peak combat power of the Hokage world, it is actually like that in the later stage. At that time, the powerhouses appeared one by one pervert. On the Shao organization alone, basically everyone has cage level strength on average, and everyone can single out a village, tail beast. After finishing the practice, Yi Chen stopped by the nearby river to catch some rain. This means that in the land of rain, you can source materials locally and maintain daily supplies. If the ninja world war is in the land of wind or the land of soil, then you can't eat all the soil and sand. This is also one of the important reasons why the two countries are so active in starting the ninja war, plundering fertile land, seizing resources, and improving people's lives. You can't eat dirt all your life. The rain country is located between the three major countries, and the land without the owner is naturally a battleground for the military. Soon Yi Chen returned to the cave. Uchiha Makoto and Tsunade were all recovering from their injuries. It has been 3 days since they stayed here in the cave. Tsunade's medical ninjutsu is also second to none, and the second daughter's injuries have basically recovered 7 or 8. Yi Chen entered the cave without speaking or disturbing them, but quietly took Yanmo out and used it as a grill to grill fish. After a while, the smell of grilled fish wafted out and lingered in the whole cave. Tsunade and Makoto couldn't help but open their eyes and touched their stomachs. They were really hungry. Eat it. Yi Chen put Yanmo in front of the two women. His face was calm and expressionless. This scene actually looks weird. This is the first time I have seen fish grilled with a knife. Of course, Tsunade is no surprise. Yi Chen always does things unexpectedly, and Uchiha Makoto's beautiful eyes glow. It's so cute. Yi Chen, you're really happy to be your boyfriend in the future. Tsunade grabbed a grilled fish and ate it while joking. Hee. Yi Chen didn't respond. Can such a cold face have a girlfriend? Uchiha Makoto glanced at Yi Chen and thought. Because Yi Chen is an extremely boring, cold-faced, cultivator, and arrogant person in her heart. But at this age, this strength is enough to have arrogant capital. Makoto, I think you're pretty good, even though you're a few years older than Yi Chen. But she's a junior, hold a golden brick. Tisk tisk, Tsunade said in a shocking voice, and took the opportunity to take down a grilled fish. PFF'd. Uchiha Makoto was stunned, his face flushed red, and he said quickly, Tsunade, please don't joke. I'm not kidding, I'm serious. Tsunade said. Makoto, let me analyze it for you. The relationship between Yi Chen and you Uchiha is so tense, if the two of you are together, maybe the relationship will be eased, wouldn't everyone be happy? Tsunade said, still plausibly, and seemed to agree. Hearing this, Uchiha Makoto couldn't help but take a peek at Yi Chen. Although she thought Yi Chen was extremely cold and uninteresting, she was inexplicably moved for a few seconds after hearing what Tsunade said, and she even looked forward to it. But when she saw Yi Chen's expression, the flame in her heart was completely extinguished. It turned out that Yi Chen had no expression on his face at all, as if he didn't care about their conversation at all, or simply ignored it. Forget it, this guy is indifferent, cruel, and looks like he is lonely. Uchiha Makoto complained inwardly. Yi Chen didn't know the broken thoughts in Uchiha Makoto's heart, but looked at Tsunade and said, Tsunade, how much has your strength recovered? About 80%, why are you asking this? Sister, I've asked you for a daughter-in-law. Tsunade said. Che, I'm still young, what kind of wife do I want? When I stand at the pinnacle of the ninja world in the future, if I don't have a woman, I can come and go as soon as I call it. Now, women are troubles to me. Yi Chen said directly. Quote. Tsunade. Quote. Uchiha Makoto. The two women were immediately troubled, and daring to love them would be troublesome and burdensome. Can this kid be a little more euphemistic when he says he will? Okay, it's up to you. Ask me how my strength has recovered, what do you want to do? Tsunade said helplessly. You guys are recovering from your injuries in the past 2 days. I'm cultivating, and I've made some progress. I need a teammate, preferably a cage level 1. I want to see how much difference there is. Yi Chen said directly. Cage level, thank you for saying it, is that Chinese cabbage, how can you see it casually? Tsunade was ashamed. Uchiha Makoto was even more shocked. When they were still fighting to advance to Jonin, Yi Chen's goal had already surpassed his contemporaries, pointing directly to cage level. Cage level, that is the real top combat power in a village. Such existences are rare, such as Uchiha clan chief, 3rd Hokage, Anbu teammate Hatake Tsukumo. But everyone has been cultivating for decades, people are near middle age, and they are at the peak of a person's time. Yi Chen's life has just begun, and he has already completed the life of an ordinary ninja who needs to struggle. Really, people are more than people, maddening people. However, although there is no cage level, my sister, I would say that Konoha is a super class Jonin. Under the cage level, everything can be blasted. It's barely a quasi-movie, but I can barely practice with you. Tsunade said, although it's simple, but I really want to fight Yi Chen. The same genius ninja, being compared by a child, it is too humiliating. But she also wanted to see how far apart Yi Chen was from her heyday, or whether she had completely surpassed herself. Then ask Sister Tsunade to teach me. Yi Chen said. Master Tsunade is going to compete with Yi Chen. Uchiha Makoto's emotions were fluctuating, it was incredible. In the forest, two figures face each other far away. Tsunade, let's finish the trial. Yi Chen said lightly. Come on. Tsunade looked at Yi Chen solemnly, he stepped on his feet, his figure suddenly galloped out, and instantly rushed in front of Yi Chen. Then, a punch fell. In the face of Tsunade's fist, Yi Chen also met him with a punch. Of course, he didn't use his armament color, but simply used his own strange power. Boom! The two fists collided in the air. Yi Chen, who didn't use his armament color and only used strange power, staggered slightly and couldn't help but take a step back. It's really strong. Yi Chen laughed, shaking his arms. Due to the blood of the Senju family, Tsunade's chakra is much stronger than Yi Chen, and there is no need to say much about his physical strength, and the strange power is originally a special skill developed by Tsunade. Yi Chen, use your method of killing rock shinobi, and do this senseless temptation, or I'll be angry. Tsunade's face was grim and somewhat dissatisfied. Tsunade, who entered the battle state, was undoubtedly very serious, and he was like two people in peace, giving him an intimidating aura. Okay, as you wish. Yi Chen said. Immediately, the body was shaken, and an aura from the inside out spread out from the body, and the atmosphere in the venue gradually stagnates. The sky became more gloomy, and it seemed to herald an extraordinary battle to come. The rain was falling slowly, and Uchiha Makoto watched the match motionlessly in the distance, feeling nervous. Armed color. Hardened. Yi Chen stretched out his right arm, and half of his right arm was instantly covered by the armed color, turning it into pitch black. Did you use the bloodline limit? Tsunade knew about Yi Chen's situation, but he didn't know the principle of the armament color, he just thought it was the limit of blood. Because once Yi Chen uses this ability, his power will be greatly improved, so he will be named as the limit of strange power and blood. Although Tsunade also has strange powers, it is due to his natural blood and his acquired training. Tsunade, I'm going. Yi Chen threw a punch directly on the spot. Like a cannon firing, the powerful punch turned into a mass of air and flew away. Tsunade recognizes this move, and it is the first stage of the use of magic power. Chakra covers the whole body, combines the strength of the whole body, throws a punch, hits a huge airflow, and has the power of crushing stones. But at this moment, Yi Chen's shot is more than just gravel, even a small mountain can be blasted. I am the creator of strange power, how can I be compared by you? What? Tsunade's body took a step back, and then the whole body strength gathered on the right arm, the body collapsed like a full moon, and the accumulation of powerful physical strength was terrifying. Boom! Suddenly a punch was thrown out, and that punch hit the air like this, carrying the supreme punch, and the rolling air carried it up, turning it into a tornado directly. Boom! The strange strength of the two collided in the air, and there was a sound explosion in the void, as if standing on the mouth of a storm, the air was torn apart, and the excited train whizzed by. Then the power of the fist spread, with the two at the center, the earth was shaken and shattered, and a strong airflow swept in all directions, sweeping away everything. Uchiha Makoto, who was standing not far away, quickly retreated. If she didn't retreat, she would be affected. With her strength, she couldn't resist the aftermath of the battle between the two top powerhouses. However, the two initiators stood motionless, as steady as a rock. Bang! Another sound like a thunderous explosion came. It turned out that the two of them fought together again, but not in the air, but in close quarters. The body flicker technique is extremely flashy, and the two of them have a lot of fun. There are many afterimages in the field, and it is difficult to capture the trajectory. When Uchiha Makoto opens Sharingan, it only roughly captures the position, and it is impossible to keep up with or even see clearly, unless it is upgraded to Sangoyu. But even so, her eyes can see clearly, her body may not be able to keep up with this extreme speed. Painful feat. Tsunade leaps in the air, and then slashes down like a giant axe. Good come. Yi Chen grabbed it with a punch, turned his fist into a palm and grabbed Tsunade's foot. Bang! The two forces confronted each other, and once again shattered the earth around them and no grass was born. Tsunade frowned. She felt like her foot was on a hard object. This guy's income is so hard, it is comparable to fine iron. Immediately step back. Yi Chen secretly analyzed that most of Tsunade's strength is above the strange power, and now Tsunade has not developed the Baihao technique, and the chakra is limited. However, based on the power alone, Tsunade is indeed much stronger than him at present, and it is impossible for a ninja of the same level to resist Tsunade's punch. I just don't know if Tsunade has used all of his magic power or still has some left over. But so what, aren't the two of them hiding? Neither has shown their true strength. At present, it is only a competition between physical skills and pure power. Tsunade, I'll show you the results of my practice these days, be careful. Yi Chen is ready to use a new shaver. Come here, Tsunade said with a confident look on his face. The battle just now was hearty, and the way of fighting with pure power is really refreshing. Call. Taking a deep breath, Yi Chen emptied his mind, calmed himself down quickly, and said, Ghost Force. Shave. Talking about it, the strange force blessed his legs and stepped on the ground suddenly, like a cannon roaring in his ears, and the earth trembled. Yi Chen disappeared immediately, and even the afterimage disappeared. What? Tsunade was shocked, she couldn't see Yi Chen anymore. I'm behind you. Yi Chen appeared behind Tsunade out of thin air. Tsunade turned back suddenly, Yi Chen disappeared out of thin air again, but the aftermath of the shaving with a strange force made her unable to resist. The thunder-like roar that exploded in the ear was really terrifying. This speed. Tsunade was shocked and completely lost Yi Chen's trace, as if it disappeared out of thin air. She couldn't judge with her perception ability, and at most she could resist it with her strong fighting instinct. Call out. Yi Chen appeared 3 feet beside him, jumped Tsunade next, patted his chest quickly, and said, Okay, don't fight. If you use this speed, how can I fight? Ha. Yi Chen couldn't help but smile. His speed even gave Tsunade a headache, and it seemed that the results were not bad. It's just that the side effects are a bit big. Just after a few flashes, my legs twitch a little, which has never happened before using shaving. Strange shaving requires extremely high physical fitness. But why are you so fast? Even cage levels are just like that. Tsunade said, Of course not all cage levels are good at speed. Want to learn? Yi Chen said suddenly. Would you like to teach me? Tsunade looked surprised in disbelief. Tsunade, you taught me strange power, and the reason why my speed is so fast is also related to strange power. Others can't learn it if they want to. Yi Chen said. Tsunade taught him magic powers when he was weak, so it's okay to teach Tsunade shaving now. Absolute speed, absolute strength. It is estimated that Tsunade's strength will definitely be stronger than the original. If the Baihao technique is developed, Tsunade's physique will become more pervert, and he is probably the most suitable person for strange shaving. Thank you. Tsunade was also welcome. In the next period of time, Yi Chen taught Tsunade to shave, and Uchiha Makoto was also beside him. Of course, the real core is the magic skills and shaving, which is only suitable for Tsunade. After Tsunade learned to shave, he also had a lot of fun, and his instant body technique was obviously greatly improved. Yi Chen, however, came to a secluded place where no one was bothering him, and then extracted the platinum treasure chest from the system. This treasure chest is the treasure chest that appeared after killing Rock Shinobi 32 ninjas. The level is higher than the golden treasure chest, so the items that exploded are naturally very precious. Yi Chen thought about it, and the lid of the platinum treasure chest slowly opened to one side. This time, what appeared in the box was not a card, but a devil fruit shining with golden light. The shape of this fruit is like ginseng fruit. It looks chubby, but there are strands of gold embellishment on the surface, which looks extremely magnificent. Another devil fruit. Yi Chen was overjoyed, but he didn't know which one it was. Looking at the fruit that released the golden light in front of him, Yi Chen's heart was calm, and at this moment, he couldn't help but feel a little excited. Devil fruit. I have only opened one until now. Now get another one. Luck is really very good. He reached out and grabbed the fruit, and all the information about the fruit was instantly transmitted to his mind. Open black lens bracket zone fruit. Human fruit, phantom beast species, big Buddha shape. After eating, it can be transformed into a big Buddha, which can emit shock waves. The Buddha type has a powerful form in the fruit of everyone, which can enhance the power, wisdom, spirit, and skill potential of the eater to the ultimate of human beings, like a true Buddha of wisdom coming into the world. It's actually it, the phantom beast, the great Buddha. Yi Chen was in a surging mood. Even the Renren fruit has many forms, ordinary forms, Buddha forms, dragon forms, and other unknown forms. But there is no doubt that the Buddha form is one of the strongest forms. Incarnate in the golden body of 1,000 Zhang Buddha, under the palm of one hand, the sky and the earth are torn apart, destroying the dry and rotten. And there are bonuses in intelligence, spirit, and physical fitness. From the physical fitness of Kaido, the dragon-shaped ability person, we can see how pervert the physical ability of Zone Renren fruit ability is. Of course, as a phantom beast in the form of a Buddha, it is also a huge improvement in the physical fitness of the human body. Unfortunately, if I was in the form of a dragon, I would be invincible. Yi Chen thought. But he didn't know whether the Buddha and the dragon were stronger or weaker. Because Buddha Sengoku and 4 Emperors Kaido didn't fight either. Although it feels a little bit on the dragon form Haki, it is also very pervert. But the great Buddha is a transcendental existence of the 9 heavens, and there are 8 heavenly dragons sitting in the seat of the Buddha. According to theological understanding, the Buddha should be stronger than the dragon. But the real combat power, you have to practice to know. And now Yi Chen is also facing a very tangled problem. He already owns a devil fruit, will it be a problem if he eats one? In the original book, in addition to Blackbeard's naturally deformed physique, he ate 2 devil fruits. Others didn't dare to eat the second fruit easily, because doing so would basically kill them violently. To eat or not to eat, that is the question. Yi Chen looked at the fruit that was close at hand, and the devil fruit kept attracting him like magic, making him look at it involuntarily. There is a very urgent voice deep inside, full of bewitching, like saying, "Do you need strength? Hungry for power? Eat it. Eat it." Yi Chen shook his head, feeling evil. Could it be a hallucination, the voice that emerged from the bottom of his heart? Then, with a firm look on his face, he looked at devil fruit and took a bite. Vomit. Sure enough, this renren fruit looks correct in color and bright in color, but it still tastes like shit. After a while, the nauseating feeling disappeared. Yi Chen immediately sensed the changes in his body, and there was no special feeling, no explosion as he imagined, everything seemed normal. He opens the Properties panel. Open Black Lens Bracket Host, Yi Chen. Abilities. Conqueror's Haki LV3, Observation Haki LV4, Armament Haki LV4, Shaved LV3, Moonwalk LV3, it takes 10,000 experience points to upgrade to the next level. Fruit. Mera Mera Fruit LV4, Renren Fruit Buddha LV1, it takes 10,000 experience to upgrade to the next level. Weapon. Great Sword, Yan Mo. Experience value 23,000 50,000. Now my experience is enough to upgrade several abilities to a higher level, but since I just got the Renren fruit, I should upgrade it first and make good use of it. This is another killer. Yi Chen had a plan in his mind. Upgrade Renren fruit, Yi Chen said silently. Then the level of Renren fruit was upgraded from LV1 to LV2. Yi Chen's body shivered, and he felt that some aspect of his body was strengthened. That kind of feeling is mysterious and mysterious, I can't say it, but I can really feel it. Not only that, his strength and physique have also increased a lot. This is the special form of the human fruit Buddha, which can make human beings evolve in all aspects and develop the ultimate potential of the human body. Upgrade again. LV2 Renren fruit becomes LV3. The feeling of transformation became stronger, and the spiritual soul was lifted by a mysterious power, almost breaking the shackles of the physical body, flying away, and the soul became a Buddha. Fortunately, Yi Chen stabilized his mind and suppressed this wormhole with a strong will, which is really evil. If it is a person with a weak will, I am afraid that he has just indulged in power and was turned into a puppet by devil fruit. Upgrading to LV3, Yi Chen dare not break through for the time being, strong power must be accompanied by high risk. There is no power that can be achieved overnight. Before he can completely control this power, he has to polish this body. Wait until you can withstand that power, that kind of transformation. In contrast, I didn't feel this way when I upgraded LV4 Mera Mera fruit before. Could this be the aftermath of eating 2 devil fruits? Yi Chen doesn't feel like it, his body has changed in a certain way, but I can't tell where it is. If he didn't understand, Yi Chen didn't want to, and now he was just in a remote place to test the power of the Buddha's form. In a flash, Yi Chen activated the fruit ability. In the blink of an eye, his body was wrapped in golden light, and a mysterious power burst out. An ancient golden Buddha appeared behind Yi Chen, with a compassionate face, solemn and sacred. Under his will, the size of the great Buddha continued to rise, and in the blink of an eye, it broke 3 feet, 10 feet. In an instant, the golden light is flourishing. At this moment, the hazy sky of the rain country was illuminated by the light of this great Buddha, but it disappeared in just an instant. Such a marvelous scene makes all the ninjas around here be amazed, and they don't even know what happened. I just felt a ray of light full of Buddha nature spread all over the sky. As the initiator, Yi Chen has taken back his form, and his face is excited. Too strong. Is this the power of the great Buddha? Yi Chen just felt that he could even smash a hill with one punch. Buddha's Fury King Kong. Buddha's Fury King Kong. This power is really intoxicating. The only difference is that Yi Chen's Buddha form is different from Buddha's Sengoku. Buddha's Sengoku is a great Buddha himself. When he is angry, the sky is torn apart, and the sky is shaken. Yi Chen's Buddha form is to summon a big Buddha. Of course, this big Buddha can be understood as an extension of his own power. Compared to his own size, he has become a big fat man. Yi Chen feels that he is quite good like this, and the majesty of the Buddha is even more majestic and more attractive. After devouring the Renren fruit, Yi Chen's strength went even further. Although there is still more experience points to improve Conqueror's Haki, especially Conqueror's Marine 6 styles can be improved. But in order to better control his own power, Renren Guo has already improved his physical strength, so he decided to polish it for a while to truly achieve the point of unity of mind and body, so as to avoid eating into a fat man in one go. Only those who truly control their own power perfectly and use it perfectly can be considered strong. Call. Afterwards, he left the place and went to the hidden cave outside the forest. After so many days of recovering their strength, Tsunade and Uchiha Makoto have fully recovered their strength, especially Tsunade's strength has been further improved after having the instant shaved. Where did you go? Tsunade asked inside the cave, next to Uchiha Makoto. During this time, the relationship between the two women also made breakthroughs and became familiar. Uchiha Makoto asked Tsunade a lot of ninjutsu questions, and Tsunade answered them patiently. In a way, Tsunade and Uchiha Makoto should belong to the same class of brothers and sisters. Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen and Uchiha Kagami are both students of second Hokage Senju Tobirama. So from this level of relationship, they are essentially their own people. Cultivation is gone. Yi Chen replied, there is nothing worth hiding. Why are you cultivating so hard, little Yi Chen? You should have a good time at your age, get to know some more friends, girls, and I have a sister to cover you, who dares to bully you, don't let yourself be too tight. Tsunade said carelessly. Sorry, I'm not feeling well if I don't practice this day. Yi Chen said calmly. This sentence almost made Tsunade choked to death. Look, is this what someone said? What a shame for those geniuses. Hee. Uchiha Makoto couldn't help but smile when he heard it. After contacting for a long time, I found that Yi Chen is not only cold, but also a little funny. Well, Tsunade clutched her chest to calm her emotions, she felt that she couldn't help Yi Chen anymore. Then he took out a small white bottle from his arms, took off the wooden cork, poured out 2 small pills from it and handed it over, explaining. Although I've been recovering from my injuries these days, I haven't been completely idle. I looked around to find some herbs, and made an antidote to the highly poisonous Sanjiao fish. You can take it with you to prevent accidents in the future. An antidote for Sanjiao fish. Tsunade-sama, you are amazing. Uchiha Makoto couldn't help but praise. It is rumored that the Sanjiao fish is highly poisonous and has no cure. Tsunade, how did you make the antidote, and you just found some herbs? Yi Chen couldn't help asking while looking at the pill in his hand. Hearing this, Tsunade's face showed a touch of self-satisfaction, and he said arrogantly. Who am I? I'm the granddaughter of the dignified ninja god, the princess of the Senju clan, the niece of the 2nd generation, the student of the 3rd generation. Just talk about the main point. Yi Chen couldn't help interrupting Tsunade's boast, which was really frank and not modest at all. Little Yi Chen, it's rude to interrupt others. Tsunade gave Yi Chen a serious look, and then said. There is no poison that can't be solved in this world. All things are born, and all things naturally grow and control each other. Metal controls wood, wood controls soil, soil controls water, that's all. Poison is the same. Think about who is the summoning beast, Hanzo, and the land of rain. Boss, Sanjiao fish likes a dark and humid environment, and the land of rain is obviously the most suitable place for Sanjiao fish to live. Since this place is the most suitable for the life of Sanjiao fish, some herbs that restrain its toxicity naturally grow. Everything that is highly poisonous must be restrained within 3 feet. I have searched many dark and damp places, and all these places have one thing in common, that is, the same herb grows. Saying that, Tsunade took out another herb, which was sapphire blue, with 3 leaves, and the leaves were delicate and green. I don't know its name, let's just call it blue silver grass. Through pharmacological tests, it was found that its medicinal properties are completely opposite to the toxicity of Sancho fish, just like water and fire. Do you understand now? After Tsunade finished speaking, Along he breathed a sigh of relief, looking proud. Amazing. Yi Chen couldn't help but admire Tsunade after hearing it. It seems that the woman who can become a Hokage is not only because of her strength, but also her brain is not comparable to ordinary people. It's just that this herb is called blue silver grass so sloppily. It's a bit of a drama. Tsunade couldn't help being annoyed when he heard that Yi Chen just said the word, powerful, lightly. There are so many words to praise people and praise people. Why is there only 2 words in Yi Chen's mouth, and it feels very perfunctory? On the other hand, Uchiha Makoto admires Tsunade, and his eyes are full of admiration. Since everyone's injuries are almost recovered, we should return to Konoha camp. Yi Chen said. That's right, I forgot that Jiraiya was poisoned by the bell pepper fish. I don't know if he could stand it for so long, so how could he forget about it? Tsunade patted his forehead and suddenly realized. Yi Chen was speechless and silently observed a moment of silence for Jiraiya. I hope he will not receive a lunchbox ahead of time because of the poisonous scallop fish. In that case, the world will lose a best-selling novelist in the future, which is a big loss to the world. The 3 immediately moved forward and rushed to the Konoha camp. At this time, the Second Ninja World War has almost entered the heat, and it will gradually develop from a local war to a decisive battle. Along the way, even though Yi Chen, Tsunade and Uchiha Makoto avoided it, they still often encountered scattered sand shinobi or rock shinobi. Of course, the 3 of them shot mercilessly. As long as they encountered ninjas in the enemy village, they would kill them directly. With a shaved Tsunade, his strength is much stronger than in the original work, and Yi Chen is more powerful enough to sweep the ninjas under the cage level. The general rock shinobi sand shinobi's ninja team or scattered ninjas, encounter them there is absolutely no way to survive. Just when the 3 of them had walked more than half of the way, they finally encountered a sand shinobi elite force unexpectedly, and they were fierce and powerful. There are more than 20 people, Jonin has 2, and the one who leads the team is stronger. Tsunade said. Needless to say Tsunade, Yi Chen had already sensed the strength of the sand shinobi team, and the older woman who led the team, wearing a white robe and a black cap, looked familiar. Are we going back, Tsunade-sama? Uchiha Makoto asked, now that she had put on a Tengu mask and Anbu had to hide her identity outside. Yi Chen also wore a Rakshasa ghost face. It's too late, the other party has already discovered us, Tsunade said. It's Sand Shinobi's puppet master Chiyo, a long-established veteran Jonin, whose strength cannot be underestimated. Tsunade recognized the identity of the comber. It turned out to be Tsunade Heim, a student of the 3rd generation, and thought you died at the hands of rock shinobi. The Sand Shinobi team came, and Chiyo's face showed a sinister smile. Chiyo, the grandmother of Sasori of Akshasa, is at her peak, a super-class puppet master, and even Hanzo has a headache. Because on the battlefield of the Second Ninja World, the poison of the Sancho fish was also solved by Chiyo. Compared with Tsunade, Chiyo's poison technique is almost on par with Hanzo, and with her puppet technique, the Jinmatsu 10 Guardians, the peak control power, it is not impossible for one person to destroy a city, and it is still Chiyo's peak period. Both mentally and physically. You're not dead, it seems that the rubbish of rock shinobi still can't kill you. Chiyo's expression was slightly cold, and she looked at Tsunade. She originally guessed that Tsunade was not dead, and that rock shinobi died several times, which can be said to be a heavy loss. Tsunade noticed that there were more than 24 sand shinobi ninjas around Chiyo, frowned slightly, and it was another fierce battle, but when she thought of Yi Chen beside her, she was relieved. Uchiha Makoto's face was dignified. The next step was not easy, at least he couldn't hold back Yi Chen and Tsunade-sama. You're not dead either, old woman, Tsunade shot back. In fact, Chiyo at this time is at most about 40 years old, and has been famous for a long time, but she is not an old woman. However, the puppet players are basically insidious and dirty, and Chiyo has always been against Hanzo. So Hanzo called Chiyo a stinky old woman, who is Hanzo, a demigod in the ninja world. he said so, and others didn't follow suit. Teeth sharp and sharp, Chiyo snorted coldly, while the sand shinobi ninja beside her was already surrounded by Yi-Chen and Tsunade. Chiyo is a puppet master, but she is also excellent at medical ninjutsu and poison. Tsunade is not good at using poison, but Tsunade is better than Chiyo in medical ninjutsu and detoxification. It can be said that the two are inherently incompatible with each other. Originally, some of the poisons that Chiyo had deployed on the battlefield of World War II had a great effect, but they were completely suppressed in Konoha. It is because of the existence of Tsunade that although Chiyo and Tsunade have never fought head-on, there have been countless battles between poison art and detoxification. Use poison, detoxify. If the two are not the same person, they are destined to not coexist. Chiyo-sama, there are no other Konoha shinobi around. At this moment, a perceptive sand shinobi ninja walked up to Chiyo and reported in a deep voice. Hearing this news, Chiyo was suddenly surprised. It seems that Tsunade has not been supported by Konoha shinobi, she has only two Anbu by her side, and she doesn't take it to heart. I thought I'd picked up Rock Shinobi's leak. Godsend opportunity. If you leave Tsunade now and kill her, it must be a big blow to Konoha. But, Chiyo hesitated, she is not a Rock Shinobi, nor is she a slaughter by nature, she is at best fighting for the best. Tsunade has a special status after all, the princess of the Senju clan, the direct disciple of the third generation. If they kill Sand Shinobi, they will definitely receive mad revenge from Konoha. Although Sand Shinobi is not afraid of revenge, third case cage is the strongest case cage ever. But when the two big ninja villages compete, wouldn't they be benefited by the third party and the Oriole? A living Tsunade is worth more than a dead Tsunade. Killing Tsunade will attract the hatred of Konoha and the hatred of Hokage. Capturing Tsunade, threatening Konoha, and asking Konoha to exchange land, for them, there is no harm to them. This kind of thinking, Hanzo can take into account in the original book, and Chiyo can naturally. If Hanzo didn't make a ruthless attack in the end, then there should be no legends about Sanson in later generations. Because he thought of this level of interest. The living are worth more than the dead. Tsunade, it's my luck or your misfortune, who just escaped from those guys at Rock Shinobi, but bumped right in front of me. A faint smile appeared on Chiyo's face. We're not Rock Shinobi's trash, you Konoha's best medical ninja, just keep your hands down today so you don't get hurt. Really, you won't kill me. Tsunade looked at Chiyo. You are far more beneficial to us living than dying. Chiyo said. Then see if you have the ability to stay with us. Tsunade stood up proudly, and he did not lose his momentum at all, and even had a faint look of calmness, and he suppressed Chiyo just from his temperament. After all, she is the granddaughter of the god of ninja, the niece of the second generation, and the student of the third generation. And she has Yi-Chen by her side, and Yi-Chen's strength is very clear to her. 32 Rock Shinobi were killed by him alone, and a mere 20 Sand Shinobi were nothing. And there are 3 of them. Uchiha Makoto's strength is elite Chunin, with Sharingan, there may be unexpected results. Arrogant little girl, even if I don't kill you, I will make you suffer. Chiyo sneered. With her age, of course she is qualified to call Tsunade a little girl, after all, her junior. Sasori's parents are already on the battlefield at this time, and they are both famous and strong. Although he might get the lunchbox right away and was killed by White Fang. Makoto, you protect yourself. Yi-Chen, we 2 brothers and sisters cooperated to kill a quick one today. Tsunade said. I was chased by Rock Shinobi all the way before, it was really embarrassing. Now at his peak strength, and with helpers, Tsunade wants to do it. Yeah, Yi-Chen nodded. Looking at Tsunade coldly, Chiyo gave an order, and Sand Shinobi's ninjas rushed up. In Chiyo's view, Tsunade and the 2 Anbu are only 3 people, and under siege, it is impossible to compete with them, and even to escape. Fire style. Fire dragon technique. Wind style. Tornado great breakthrough. Fire style. Great fireball technique. In an instant, more than 10 ninjas launched fire style and wind style ninjutsu. The fire borrows the wind, and the wind helps the fire. And some other ninjas threw all kinds of shuriken and kunai one after another, with fire style wind style. Boom. The wind and fire are intertwined, and the momentum is incomparably huge, as if the dark clouds in the sky are burned into a red, and the rain and the muddy earth are all burned dry. A long flame of flames roared past in front of him, and everything was burnt wherever it passed, directly burning up all the rainwater. Yi-Chen and Tsunade looked at each other and stood in a line tacitly, with Uchiha Makoto standing behind. Magic fist. Armed color hardening. The movements of the two were synchronized, their bodies were drawn into a half-moon bowstring, and their single arm slammed straight out, and suddenly hit the air in front of them. Bang! The air burst with a bang, like a cannon roaring, deafening. The turbulent air flow formed a tornado, and the momentum was extremely large. It almost directly overshadowed the compound ninjutsu used by the dozen or so ninjas. The terrifying strange force directly shook all directions, and the world changed color. The ultimate power, shattering the void. Tsunade and Yi-Chen are both cultivators of strange powers, and their power is even higher than that of ordinary powerhouses. Tsunade, in particular, has been practicing strange power for many years, and the entire ninja world is probably less powerful than power. Now, a full-strength strike is like a dragon roaring and a tiger roaring, swallowing mountains and rivers with anger. Although Yi-Chen is the latter, his strange power is not as deep as Tsunade's, and the compression force of his whole body is about 20%. But with the armament haki bonus and the body transformation of the human fruit Buddha, the power is greatly increased, and the power under this punch is not much behind Tsunade. At this moment, under the unparalleled strange power of the two, the double power superimposed, and the sky collapsed, the air suddenly exploded, and an ear-piercing shriek was emitted. Except where Yi-Chen and Tsunade stood, the ground in front of them both showed signs of cracking. Under the frantic shaking, the muddy ground actually set off waves like ocean waves, surging in all directions. It's almost like destroying the grass and pulling the rotten, directly crushing the fire style and wind style. The fire dragon was blown up and the wind was blasted away. The aftermath of the strange force turned into a circle of air fluctuations, which directly shook Sand Shinobi back not far away, and some even flew out with the punch. The power of a punch is as terrifying as hiss. Seeing this, Tsunade raised his head proudly and looked at Chiyo from a distance with a provocative look on his face. What a powerful monster! Chiyo couldn't help showing a solemn expression. Moreover, the strength of Anbu in that Rakshasa mask is actually so powerful. Judging by her eyesight, it is at least Jonin. Could it be Anbu's team leader? Tsunade is a medical ninja after all, and she is the princess of the Senju clan, and she is protected by the powerful Anbu. Tsunade, you don't need to take action, I'll be enough to deal with you. Tsunade looked at Yi-Chen in surprise, and then said, No, I have to teach this old woman a good lesson. PFF'd. Chiyo was extremely depressed after hearing this, and almost vomited blood. What's even more irritating is that the nameless Yi-Chen Yuyi's words are a bit too arrogant and arrogant. He is enough without Tsunade's shot. Who does he think he is? Hokage of Konoha, White Fang. Konoha's ninjas are really arrogant. Very good, then let me experience your methods. Chiyo said viciously. Yi-Chen was about to move forward, but Tsunade took the first step forward and said, Leave it to me, Yi-Chen, go to wake up the other trash fish. Okay. Looking at Tsunade, who was brave, Yi-Chen responded. Chiyo is currently at her peak, and if she simply looks at her strength, her accomplishments in puppet arts are enough to rank between the quasi-cage level. Ordinary cage level is her limit. After all, she is fundamentally different from the puppet genius Sasori of Akasha. But even so, Tsunade shouldn't be too easy to deal with a veteran like Chiyo. Tsunade, is that what Sarutobi Hiruzen taught you? Disrespect your seniors, but you will be taught a lesson. Chiyo said, taking out a scroll in her hand. Senior, old woman, haven't you heard that the back waves of the Yangtze River push the front waves, and the front waves die on the beach? Besides, you and I are enemies, why should you be polite to you? After Tsunade finished speaking, a swift slash came and slammed down with a punch. A strong chi burst out of the fist, blasting out an invisible blast of air. Chiyo's face was calm, and he ducked to one side, only to be surprised that Tsunade's instant speed was really fast. Old woman, you are very fast. Tsunade provoked deliberately. Chiyo vomited blood. Since we met until now, how many times has she been called an old woman? Although she is indeed no longer young, she is still an old woman. She is still a flower in the land of wind, Sand Shinobi Village. How many people admire her and admire her. Take good care of his students for that old Sarutobi guy today. Chiyo made a seal with both hands, a scroll was spread out in front of him, and he shouted, "White secret skill, Kinmatsu 10 people." Bang 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 bang. A series of white mists appeared, followed by 10 puppets with different styles and strange shapes, wrapped in large robes. The 10 people of Kinmatsu are puppets created by the puppet master Bunzaemon, and a clever puppet master can definitely use 10 as 1,000, known as one machine as 1,000. And Chiyo is a super class puppet master. She is the strongest in the ninja world where Sasori of Red Sand is not famous. When Chiyo released her puppet, the chakra line that she controlled the puppet was naturally connected to the puppet. At the same time, she finally showed her chakra, more than Yi Chen at this time, and even more than Tsunade who did not practice Baihao technique at this time, and her strength did not reach the real peak. Definitely surpasses Elite Jonin, Quasi-Shadow, maybe even stronger. Puppet masters don't practice ninjutsu, taijutsu, or illusion, only puppets. In other words, the stronger the puppet, the stronger the power. But Chiyo is an alternative. She is not only an excellent puppet master, but also a grand master of ninjutsu, taijutsu, and illusion. According to official data, Chiyo's physical strength in old age is stronger than 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. Who is Sarutobi Hiruzen? A real cage-level powerhouse, a ninjutsu doctor, and a second generation who can PK Impure World reincarnation by himself. From this, it can be imagined that the strength of Chiyo at the peak at this time is amazing. The moment he sensed this chakra, Tsunade's expression became serious. She kept talking about Chiyo, but she actually stimulated Chiyo through her words. If Chiyo is angered and Chiyo loses her calm, then it is extremely unfavorable for manipulating puppets. Her plan was indeed successful, but Chiyo's strength also put a lot of pressure on her. This is a puppet, basically every one of them has the strength to threaten Jonin, and it can also be understood that 10 of them are all Jonin level puppets. Although it is not as flexible and changeable as the real Jonin. But it is absolutely terrifying for a person like Chiyo who has reached the pinnacle of puppet skills. But Chiyo is a puppet master after all, and Tsunade has no fear of puppets. No matter what kind of puppet or trap it is, it only needs one punch to crush it all. In the next instant, Chiyo, who was controlling the puppet, attacked Tsunade directly. Exercise. Gymnastics with heart. At the same time as the puppet attack, Chiyo also used the exclusive skills of the puppet master. The palms are united, and 5 chakra wires are pulled out, breaking through the air. One blade stream, 36 troubled winds. On the other side, an indifferent voice sounded. Yi Chen entered the Sand Shinobi encirclement instantly, holding the black sword of Yan Mo, and slashed in an instant. Like Uzumaki, like dozens of swords, the entire Sand Shinobi is like being swept away by a tornado, being hit in the air and unable to move. What? Fire style. Phoenix fire technique. Uchiha Makoto made a seal with both hands, took Yi Chen's move, cooperated with Yu Feng, and flaming meteors slammed into Sand Shinobi and ignited them completely. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.